Welcome along to Kwong Road Recreation Ground here in Hong Kong for match 2 of the Women's Premier League T20 series. It's an absolutely roasting day here in Mission Road, and it's going to be certainly a test for both teams as they head out and do battle out in the middle of the field, not only battling in terms of cricket, but battling the weather. Certainly tough conditions to be playing cricket in, but not much different to what you can expect when you travel around the world at different times of the year, places like Malaysia, Thailand, the UAE. Match 1 of the Women's Premier League was won convincingly by the Jade Jets, so in this 3-match series the Bauhinia Stars will be looking to even up the ledger, getting a win today and take it to the decider next weekend on Sunday, where we'll have match 3 of the Women's Premier League. Joined here by Tracy Walker, board member at Cricket Hong Kong and still an active cricketer for Hong Kong Cricket Club. Welcome along, Tracy.
Morning, Mark. How are you?
Oh, I'm very good, thank you. Absolutely cooking here under the marquee, but really looking forward to hopefully seeing some great cricket in just over 10 minutes time. We can report that the toss was won by the Bauhinia Stars and they've elected to bat first on what is a wicket that has been used for 3 games already in the All-Stars exhibition series, which will have its final this afternoon following the Women's Premier League match, which proves to be an exciting piece of cricket to follow this game. If you hear that tumble and crash in the background, that's the ice arriving, and it's a welcome sight, and grateful to have some nice cold drinks with us in the commentary box.
It's a beautiful day for cricket here today. Sun's out. Apparently TJ's got his guns out as well. We'll wait until we see that later. Lovely day here for the second game, Mark. I think probably a little bit later in the season than what we normally are used to. So some of the folks might actually feel that it's a bit hotter than what it could be. I think last time we were here we had some thunderstorms that came across, but we didn't actually get impacted by that. We do have a bit of cloud cover, but it seems to be avoiding the ground completely, and we'll be in full sun for most of the game.
Yeah, it's going to be courtesy of COVID. The season is pushed a little bit longer and deeper into the summer actually. Typically in Hong Kong, for those not aware, we play all of our sport throughout Hong Kong, whatever code it is, typically through the winter season. So sports season is typically from around beginning of September all the way through till around April. But we've pushed into late June, mid to late June this year, which is getting right into summer here, where temperatures get hot, lots of thunderstorms, and as we get a bit deeper into summer, into July and August, we're usually graced with a few typhoons, just to throw that in the mixer. I'm sure there'll be a few people out on the water today in Hong Kong, gathering a group of friends together, meeting down at the piers on the waterfront in central Hong Kong, jumping on a boat and heading out to one of the beautiful beaches on a junk boat and enjoying the day's festivities. But they're missing out because they're not here at Kwong Road, ready to watch some fantastic display of cricket, both in the Women's Premier League and later this afternoon the All-Stars exhibition series. If I look back, and the teams are ready to go, and we're they're peaking a little bit early as we've got 10 minutes to go before the start time. They might have to just sort of take a seat and do that team talk and that chant again. And as I go back a few weeks to the first match of the Women's Premier League, Bauhinia Stars batting first there in that match too, ending their 20 overs on 83 for 9. Shamzeen Shahzad, pick of the batsman by a long way, scoring 40 off 53 balls. Not helped by too many others. The only other one to get to double figures was Ruchita Venkatesh, and extras with 14. Great spell of bowling. Few people, everybody chimed in with some wickets. Betty Chan up front, 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 12, and Mariko Hill taking 3 wickets off her 4 overs. And in the second innings, the Jade Jets made short work of it, chasing down that 83 runs in 15.4 overs, with Paul Toe scoring 19 off 33, Mariko Hill 29 off 30, Kinu Gill coming in and getting 18 off 24, and the match finished off by Lemon Chung and Jasmine Titmus. So Bauhinia Stars will be really looking to turn around those scores and churn out a win today and take it to a decider next week.
And if I recall correctly, Mark, during the last match there, we were talking about the fact that the Bauhinia Stars really, their key players didn't really fire when it came to the batting. So we'll be looking to see whether not only Shanzine makes some runs there, but also maybe Carrie Chan supports her there, and we see some big runs being made today.
Yeah, so we'll just take a quick break. I'm going to chew into a bacon and egg roll quickly, and we'll join you in about 5 minutes time as we get closer to the match getting underway. You let me know.
No, it's on the group.
Alright. Oh, there we go, they're bowling. We in here, Nitish? Am I on? Alright. Well, there we go, I'm on. Just talking, mumbling away in the background. Producer sold me down the river there, but we're on. I stand corrected, it looks like the Bauhinia Stars have actually decided to field first. I'm assuming they won the toss, and Marianne Bibby is going to open the bowling here from the Argyle Street or the police station end. The Bauhinia Stars are getting their field set ready to go, and we see the Jade Jets opening batsmen walking out, and we see Mariko Hill and Paul Toe getting ready to open the batting and start us off in this match 2 of the Women's Premier League. You notice that the players are all wearing different caps. The caps are their club caps as a sort of representation of what club they come from and where they've developed from, and then the team uniforms obviously representing the team that they're playing for, the Bauhinia Stars and the Jade Jets. Spoke earlier about the temperature and the heat here in Hong Kong. Currently around 31 degrees, but the feels like temperature is more like 39 to 40 degrees, courtesy of the 75% humidity here. Not much of a breeze at the moment, so the players are going to be worked pretty hard out there in these temperatures, and those that go out and bat with their helmet on, I can assure you it's absolutely cooking there.
And for those of you, Mark, who are new to this competition, this is a conglomeration of all of the best women cricketers in Hong Kong who've come together in 2 teams, so it's almost like an all-stars, and Miriam just starts there, one outside off. So we do have the 5 teams actually represented here today. We've got the Kowloon Cricket Club, the Hong Kong Cricket Club, the Craigengower Cricket Club, the Little Saiwan Cricket Club, and also the SCC Divas Cricket Club, all represented today as being individuals who are playing. Nicely nipped away there to backward square leg, but no runs there for Pulto.
Marianne comes back in again and it's defended by Pulto. Great start here by Marianne, and for those of you tuning in, there's 2 live streams going out with this game, one in English with myself and Tracy here, and we've got a commentary team over the other side of the sight screens, and they'll be commentating the game in Cantonese for any local viewers here. Marianne comes again, it's a little bit wider this time. Hit to point and fielded cleanly, but Mariko quick to pounce on that and call Pulto through for the single.
That one was a little bit wayward, heading down leg side. Mariko didn't need to move at all to even consider that one.
Yeah, test for Shenzhen, who's got the gloves there behind the stumps today. There's a big appeal in the hope that they can snare an early wicket and snare Mariko Hill, who's been tremendous vein of form this season, scoring runs across the board in the Women's Club Leagues and Women's Premier League. Be a huge wicket for the Bauhinia Stars if they're able to get her early. That will go a long way towards controlling the bowling innings and reducing the total to that the Jade Jets are able to post as Mariko punches that out to point for no run. Thanks a lot to all those people tuning in. If you've got any questions or comments, put them in the live chat on YouTube, or feel free to let us know where in the world you're watching from. Great to get a feeling of where in the world you're tuning in from. Have an idea of where our viewers are based.
Looks like Alison Sue coming in from the softball end. Alison has had the job of opening in these matches a number of times, so with Miriam coming on from this police road end, and then Alison coming on from the softball ground end.
A great opening over there by Marianne. Would like to see her attack the stumps a little bit more, but only 2 off the over, 1 off the bat and a wide. So a good start for the Bauhinia Stars, and just a cautious start by the Jade Jets, just getting a feel for the wicket and what's happening out there as they build their innings. We've found over the last 3 games that have been played on this wicket in the men's All-Stars exhibition series that it's not too easy to start on this wicket, but once you get in as a batsman, you really need to make the most of that, as that's takes out off stump, and that's a fantastic opening delivery by Alison. Something that we've spoken about in all our times commentating, and something that I know is a big focus, and her work and her training is attacking the stumps a bit more, and she's been right on the money in that first delivery, and a superb start and a great opening for Bauhinia as they yell out a chant before returning back to their fielding position. So an early wicket, and that's going to see Kinu Gill make her way to the crease. Very experienced cricketer, someone that likes to take her time to get into the innings, but more than capable of building a long innings and setting up a total for her team.
Good to see that from Alison. She has been quite wide in her previous matches here, so aiming for that 5th, 6th stump, and it's nice to actually see her putting one on the wicket there, really focusing on getting that wicket. So good work by Alison. I would say the pull toe was potentially expecting that to be a little bit wider and not actually attacking the stumps as much as it was.
Yeah, great delivery, and that's the perfect delivery to be bowling to someone early in their innings. And like we've spoken about time and time again, if you're attacking the stumps, you're bringing all the modes of dismissal into play and giving yourself the best chance to take some wickets. So if Alison can be consistently on that line and length, she's going to be doing a great job for her side and almost certainly lining herself up for a few more wickets. So we see there that one just to the leg side a little bit, and certainly an electric atmosphere out there, very excited group of players. Nothing better than getting an early wicket to give you that energy and enthusiasm in a lineup, and they'll be looking to capitalise on that. As our producer loses his muffins and bakery goods on the floor, that's the breakfast gone. Bit of grass clippings on it now.
So they're really putting the confidence here in Alison with only 2 on the leg side, and that is basically mid-on and mid-wicket. So really expecting Alison to focus on that off-stump and outside.
Another good delivery there by Alison, just outside off-stump. Some nice away swing on that ball. Alison typically known for shaping the ball away from the right-hander. That challenge of making sure that she's attacking that off-stump. It's just a bit too wide, and Pyre extends his arms.
So and then they've got this, I don't know whether I'd call it a fly slip or a gully. It's not really quite, it's too fine to be a gully, so really looking for that ball that is outside off, where they go for that lap shot past the slip there. Catching position, but kind of an unusual catching position that they've got set for Ellison.
Yeah, it's an odd sort of field set because there's third man down here almost on the same line, so it's almost like you've got three players standing in a line behind each other, slightly, not quite, but I think they've got to probably have a look at those angles and how they place those fielders. No fine leg, so I guess that's understanding that Ellison tends to shape the ball away from the right-hander. The only thing you've just got to be careful of with a field set like this, with a very offside dominant field, is that the bowler's still got the confidence to attack the stumps. It's wide outside off again, yeah, 7-2 field, offside field. But the leg side fielders are mid-on and a mid-wicket, so that's the only challenge for a bowler really, is if you're stacked on the offside, there is a danger that you just hang outside the off stump and you're not willing to attack those stumps out of fear that you'll get hit to the leg side for runs, as we see Ellison change her angle to go round the wicket. Good delivery, but the challenge of bowling round the wicket, as we've spoken about before, Tracy, is as soon as you come round the wicket, you instantly remove LBW as a mode of dismissal, especially with Ellison shaping the ball away from the right-hander. I'd like to see her stay over the wicket, but
yeah, maybe she's doing that just to allow herself to get her direction right, and hopefully she'll come back around over the wicket later. We have seen that third man kind of moving out to a wider position because we did identify that three players all in the one area. So can have Miriam come on again for her third over of the match. One thing we have seen with this competition in the past is that the Bauhinia Stars really do have a lot of energy in the field. So it's good to hear them all talking and supporting their bowlers. It's something that we have seen quite a lot. And that one just a little bit wide. Mariko gets onto that, but just a single, didn't get through the infield.
yeah, good piece of running between the wickets there. Low full toss hit straight to cover, but great communication between the Kino and Mariko to take that quick single and make the most of that opportunity. As we see with Marianne, a bit more balanced in the field, a 5-4 field. Marianne more likely to be attacking the stumps a lot more. With the exception as that's a full toss. Oh, dropped it square leg by Dorothea, and missed opportunity, but Kino and Mariko cross for one run.
Could be a costly drop there. You know, these two players that are out there at the moment were the number one and number two batters of the season. So lots of runs coming off the bats there. You would expect that you'd want to be getting them out, and that one's just missed the outside edge. So again, Bauhinia Stars probably a little bit disappointed with those last two balls. They could have had 2 wickets in 2 balls by the look of that.
Yeah, it's a lovely delivery, that, and it just shows the bowlers get it in the right areas. It's very, very difficult to play, and great delivery, great away swing there from Marianne, angling in and then shaping away. It's a little wider, and lovely cover drive by Mariko Hill as she splits the gap between the covers, and the ball goes all the way for 4. Lovely stroke. A very confident stroke, and great statement early on in her innings, and a signal to the bowlers that if you bowl full and wide, I'm going to have a go at it.
So in the past on this ground we have talked about it being quite a slow outfield. That one seemed to skim along quite nicely, so seems to be a reasonable outfield today.
That ball a bit straighter, and Mariko just a bit more conservative on it and just pushing it out into the covers. It's got to be the line that Mariam's got to try and attack, is make sure that that line is consistently on the off stump. That's a full toss, and it's a no ball and hit over mid wicket for 4 and punished, and you see the unforced errors have been capitalised on, the extras and the over pitch balls or the full tosses being dispatched, and we'll see Mariko facing up to a free hit here. Mariam's going to have to think about how she tries and gets out of this delivery without any more damage. That's a great delivery, and that's where she wants to be. Every ball just goes over the top of the stumps. As the score moves to 19 for 1 after 3 overs, and just like that the run rate's climbed up to 6.5.
It's good over there for the Jade Jets, 2 boundaries off it. They'll be happy with that one. See if Allison can come in and get a little bit straighter so that we don't have so many wides in this over. Bit of a conversation there with Captain Kerry Chan, trying to work out what the field should actually look like for her. No major changes though, it seems to be just a tweaking of the previous field.
Yeah, short and wide and cut, and that looks like it's going to go for 4, and man, it does.
Very nicely played there by Kinu. Just leant back on that one. Allowed her to get it through the point area. I must say it's a shot that we don't see a lot of the women playing, the cut shot, so nice to see someone early on in her innings actually bringing that out.
It's a little bit straighter there and defended by Kinu, and sound like a little bit of a broken record, but when the players take those stumps, it's really, really threatening and creating not only dot balls but wicket taking opportunities, as we see Kerry Chan begin to warm up. It's full and wide. Yeah, and like we spoke about last over, I think they could look at playing around with their field set at the moment. That first slip, that almost like a fly slip, and then third man all on a similar line. Just feels like there's a wasted fielder there that could be moved around into somewhere else to plug a gap or improve the chances of taking a wicket. As quick singles taken, straight ball just punched mid wicket, runs around to collect it, but not fast enough to stop that run being taken.
Good running there by Kinu. I think these two out there at the moment would look for those quick singles as much as possible. Marika actually facing her first delivery from Alison. Current club mates, so Marika has seen quite a lot of Alison's bowling. Let's see what she can do with this. It's a good ball by Alison there. Again, Mark.
Yeah, great.
Aiming at the stumps.
Yeah, great ball there. Attacking that top of off, and when you see that ball on the stumps, it tends to be respected by the batsman. If you're able to be consistent there, then the batsman's going to have to take the game to the bowler. They're going to have to attack that and find a way to score off it. At the moment, just a few too many freebies within an over, and as we see a short wide one and quick single taken. A bit of backing up there by Emma Lyers. She runs across from first slip to back up the wicket keeper. And these Marika and Kinu beginning to combine quite nicely to start ticking the scoreboard along, and as the sun comes out, Bauhinia Stars will be looking for a wicket to try and re-energise them. So that's fallen wide, and Kinu just comes through and punches it lightly, and it goes behind point without a run scored.
Just from a team lineup today, it looks like Jennifer Davies not available today, who's the regular keeper for this team. We got Shanzine out there keeping today. Quite a handy keeper in herself, but doesn't get the opportunity as often as normal. See her putting the helmet on there, and it looks like Carrie Chan coming into the attack. So Carrie being the captain of Bauhinia Stars, also the captain of Cricket Hong Kong. So interesting to have spin into the attack within the power play. So let's see what the batters can do with this. Still going with the slip for the spinner coming in. Alright, and that's very well run. Straight to the fielder, but still get the single there. It seems quite obvious here that the Jade Jets have said let's get as many singles as possible and put the pressure back on the fielders, so good to see that.
Yeah, some really good running between the wickets. It hit straight to a fielder, but the communication between these two is right on point, and the ability to capitalise on any run scoring opportunity. Disappointing as we speak about they're running between the wickets, and there's a complete lack of intent to make the most of what should have been an easy two. Kinu just quite happy with the single by the looks of things. Very interesting to be turning down a run this early in the innings. Short and pulled out to deep square leg, and just be the one run.
Quite a measured shot there by Mariko. Often she'll look to lift that one right over, but knowing that the fielder was out there at deep square leg, she just went for the single.
Much better delivery by Carey, a big appeal, but looks to be sliding down the leg side, and great delivery. That's the areas you want to be bowling. That one sliding on with the arm. That's short again, and pull behind square, and that might go all the way.
Oh,
Diving effort, and it looks like she's pulled it in. Fantastic effort out on the boundary there. That might be just Winder out on the boundary. Phenomenal effort, diving effort, and pulls the ball in.
She's done very well there. I thought she was going to get a hand on that and flick it back, but she actually got a hand on it and held it. So Very good fielding out there by Jasminder.
It's a better ball from Carey Will bowled. Respected by Kinu, as just like we've seen in the men's All-Stars series, regular glove changes with the hot sweaty conditions out there.
Looks like we're going to have spin from both ends. We've got Ruchita Venkatesh coming on from the other end. So Bauhinia Stars just taking the pace off the ball, expecting the batters to actually make the shots there. Let's see what kind of a field they put in for Ruchita. Looks like they're going to have that protection out at cow corner. That is the only fielder outside the circle. Oh, they're just moving someone else. Oh no, just switching the fielders there, so not changing any more onto the leg side. We've got square leg, deep mid wicket, mid on, mid off cover, point gully, and I'm not sure, this fly slip is continuing.
Yeah, it looks like that sort of 45 on the third man now is there just for that dab shot or that late cut. Nice flighted delivery there by Ruchi, first ball. Right outside off, and Mariko looking to use the sweep that she so strong with that shot. He just gets it to mid wicket for no run. A sweep shot, a very productive shot for Mariko, but also a shot that she's got out to a couple of times, and so if Ruchi can get her line right and hopefully create a chance. So it's tossed up and Mariko advances down the wicket and threads the gap between cover and mid-off, and that's the glorious shot for 4 runs. Very confident play by Mariko.
Little bit of a personal challenge between these two. Obviously, both teammates in the club matches, and Ruchi has actually gotten Mariko out a number of times. So this is a bit of a challenge. But
see that sweep, and
there's that sweep coming out and gone past the square leg for the boundary there.
Yeah, really good bit of batting here by Mariko. She's played that lovely cover drive and then hit a completely different area of the field, taking a ball from just outside off stump and hitting that just behind square for 4 runs. So Ruchi and Captain Carrie Chan are going to have some thinking to do to make sure that they've got their plans and field set right. And we see a change with... No, back to normal service. Field set remains the same. Better delivery, but Mariko and Kinu wise to it, and it just gets dropped in front of point, and they run through for a quick single. Great bit of cricket there from the Jade Jets. And after 6 overs, the Jade Jets are 39 for 1, and the energy is slowly dissipating from the Bauhinia Stars after that early wicket. And this partnership is beginning to grow and going along at just over 6.5. Bauhinia Stars are going to be looking to try and take a wicket to stem the flow and try and wrestle back some momentum, because if these two continue on the way that they are, they're going to set their Jade team to be able to go very hard in the back half of this innings and score some big runs. That's short and wide and crushed through the offside. That's a glorious shot from Mariko. Carrying on her great form this year, and now that the power play is over, the Bauhinia Stars might have to have a think about their field set and their tactics here to make sure that there's a little bit of protection, stop those boundaries, and reassess how they're going to try and get a little bit more control into this game.
That's a better ball there by Carey. A little bit straighter. Getting Mariko stuck on her crease a little bit. Seeing a number of you on the chat at the moment. Do let us know where you're watching from, so that we know how far and wide we're reaching at the moment.
It's a much better delivery there from Carey. Last two deliveries have been great, and Mariko going for that sweep shot, able to make a connection on it. And again, it just shows if the bowlers are able to put it into a good area, then they're really challenging the batsmen and creating opportunities. And the only thing missing is just that consistency, as that squirts into the leg side, and Kinu calls Mariko through for one run, and Bauhinia Stars struggling to stem the flow here when there's, even with a good ball or a miss-hit, the Jade Jets are still able to rotate the strike and take that single. It's tossed up. Kinu playing a miss. Yeah, I wonder, looking at the way these two are approaching their innings, Tracy, that whether the Stars should look to be willing to give Mariko the single and try and squeeze Kinu, who tends to look to play a long innings and rotate the strike before she looks to sort of play a bit more of an expansive game.
Yeah, I do think of the two batters out there at the moment. You know, Mariko is the bigger hitter and will play her shots a lot more, even early on in her innings. Kinu will look to be a lot more careful, protect her wicket a lot more. Does try to rotate the strike quite a bit, but if the Bauhinia Stars can actually plug up those gaps in the field, I think that they will put the pressure on her quite a bit. So
yeah, this partnership's raced along to 44 of 36 deliveries, so it's really going to force the Bauhinia Stars to put their thinking caps on, and bowlers have got to take ownership of their deliveries and their set of 6 balls every over, and make sure that they're really challenging these batsmen as much as possible. As wide full tosses struck out to the cover sweeper, and it's just the one run. Here Marianne Bibby at mid-wicket crying out, supporting her team and cheering them on, and really hoping that they can take a wicket as we see a field set change. They must have heard us, as we see deep square leg goes back and extra sweeper back just to protect that Mariko Hill sweep shot. Smart move. Side off, and Mariko plays a shot into covers with no run added. Down the wicket, and lovely shot, just driven out to the cover point sweeper, who collects it, and it's just the one run. Lovely piece of batting, and very smart batting, building the partnership and continuing to rotate the strike particularly well.
Allison just fielding that one at point. went straight to her there. I think Reiko was hoping to get back down there again. Went straight to the fielder. And full toss there. Driven through the cover, but Carrie got a hand on that and just a single again.
Full toss, sweep shot, and it's just going to go out to Dorothea and the David wicket. And nice throw into Ruchi. It's just the one run, and we're looking at another gloves change.
Yeah, I think the gloves being changed over on a regular basis. More about the quick drink of cool water to keep the temperature down.
Yep.
It's a little bit of a guise there to, you know, let's do a regular glove change, but let's actually get the water in.
Not sure what's going on here. We see the Bauhinia Stars running drinks out as well. It's certainly not a drinks break.
Was that Jen Davies there with the drinks for the Bauhinia Stars?
Yeah, Jen Davies, I think. Not seen the team sheet put in front of me, but looks like she's on 12th man duties today.
Oh, and this is this Joe Alumbo?
Jennifer Alumbo.
So her first game here in this competition, the Premier League. So Jennifer is one of the Filipino team members playing with the SCC Divas, group of Filipino ladies that have come together, and you know, generally most of them they're domestic helpers here in Hong Kong and have come together to spend their Sunday afternoons playing cricket. So great to see Jennifer up at the upper echelon playing in this competition today.
Yeah, coming left arm round, so interesting bowling action and a great start from Jennifer.
Could be interesting here. Jennifer normally plays in the Division 2. The SCC Divas was the strongest team in the Division 2 this year. So these batsmen won't have seen much of Jennifer because they're all in the Division 1. So it could be interesting to see how that goes. Swept
out and the 45 runs around and collects. It was just the one run. Yeah, great start by Jennifer. Coming around the wicket, and that one just drifting onto the pads a little bit, and Mariko employing the sweep shot. Strong shot for her, very productive shot from Mariko. Really pleasing to see Jennifer coming into her first game and starting very well with the ball. As that one's just let go by Kinu. Similar to Kinu, I'm sure she's not seen or faced Jennifer much, so she'll be no doubt having a couple of siders to get a feel for facing her, and there's not too many left armers in women's cricket in Hong Kong, left arm bowlers, so facing a left arm round bowler will certainly be different challenges. That's fair. Oh, that certainly would have been run out if there was a direct hit. Marianne Bibby unable to hit the stumps, but certainly looked like it was close. But that aside, it's really good to see the aggressive intent with the running between the wickets and putting the pressure on the fielders. That's a 50-run partnership, 46 balls. Huge effort. That's punched out in front of point, and it goes out to the cover sweeper just for the one run. It's really good batting from these two, and the score is ticking along nicely, and they're sizing up a really big total here. Full and straight, and just tapped out into the covers by Kinu. I think that's a great illustration of the two very different contrasting batting styles from these two. That would be a shot that Mariko would be looking to really throw her hands through and try and crush that to the cover boundary. Kinu more happy to sit in and play a longer innings and rotate the strike and capitalise on a full toss or a short ball. Great start by Jennifer, and her first over in the Women's Premier League, just 3 runs off it. As we see Rachita to continue on the softball end, and it's great to see a number of 7-8 different media outlets from around Hong Kong spotted around the boundary here, taking photos and footage of the second Women's Premier League match. Mariko advances down the wicket, but unable to make strong contact, and another call for gloves.
Yeah, good to see a few folks out here early on a Sunday morning. Out here to watch the game. A few spectators over there on the boundary. It's great to see. It's not just us that have gotten up early to be able to make it out here.
Mariko coming down the wicket on that ball, and great little adjustment to realise he's not quite at the pitch and just drop it in behind point as that goes through. Shamzeen with the gloves, and they run through for a bye. Full and swept out to even wicket for 1 run.
Hearing the calls here from the men's national coach, good shot as that one was played. So TJ analysing the ladies' game. Oh, and that one's gone straight through and taken the top of off stump.
Yeah, against the run of play there, a great delivery by Ruchi, and the second bowling from the softball end of the day, and very, very welcome wicket for the Bauhinia Stars, and yet again reinforces that you've got to bowl at those stumps and bring in as many modes of dismissal into play as possible. Those players will be making the most of the opportunity to have a drink. That's going to bring Lemon Chung to the crease.
We've seen this partnership a few times, Lemon and Mariko, throughout this series. So I'm sure there will continue to be lots of quick singles out there. Lemon loves to run between the wickets, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of singles out there for her. As we've seen in the past, the size differential between these two, Lemon potentially one of the more height challenged individuals that we have out there, Mariko one of the taller ones, so I always get a bit of a laugh when I see them standing beside each other, so sorry Lemon for pointing that out each time, but it does put a smile on my face.
This is the opportunity that Bauhinia Stars are going to have to capitalise on. They've managed to open up an end, take a wicket at one end, and they've now got to try and keep taking wickets and try and control this run rate a little bit more as this newly formed batting partnership have to re-establish that approach to running between the wickets and their communication. As Lemon punches that off the back foot, and it's collected by Ruchi. Concludes the 10th over. We're up to the halfway mark of this innings, and the score at 56 for 2. Mariko Hill sitting at 32 off 31 balls, pulling together a lovely innings, and she'll be wanting to continue on and double that score again and try and get her Jade Jets team up to a sizable total and try and put this game beyond any doubt. short and hit out to mid-wicket and crushed for 4.
Now, unfortunately, the one thing you can't do to Mariko Hill is to bring it down short. So Jennifer will learn that one quite quickly. It's that she needs to really get it up, pitched up, make Mariko actually use her feet a little bit more. Those short balls, Mariko is able to get that pull shot and sweep shot into play. Oh, and she's overcorrected. And put down by Emily there. So Jennifer overcorrected there, gave the full toss, but that was a no ball. So even if Emma had taken the screaming catch, she would have still not actually collected the wicket there. It's good effort by her, but it's just a little bit outside of her reach.
Lovely.
Mariko advances, but able to get back into a crease there.
Well, free hit there.
Free
so
hit, yeah, sorry, a little bit slow on the
no-
uptake. The coffee's
no
wearing off.
effort.
Great comeback there by Jennifer Alumbro, just a bowl
A dot ball for a free hit is always a win, right?
right on the wide line, wide outside off, out of the arc. She comes in again and short and wide and punched out to the cover sweeper just for the 1 run. I think that's got to be the approach of the Stars, is be willing to give Mariko Hill the single, use the sweepers to their advantage, and then squeeze Lemon Chung, the new batsman.
And Lemon's gone for the big swing there and not connected at all.
Yeah, quite like the approach from Lemon. Very aggressive approach, looking to hit it hard onto the leg side and unable to make contact with that ball, but the square leg coming up into the ring, she's looking to launch it over the square leg fielder as she comes down the wicket and
A lot of footwork and then just a little tap down, back down towards the bowler. Had the intent and then actually second thought was like, no, I'm not going for that one.
yeah, it looks like there's going to be a lot of action here with Lemon at the crease. She's not going to die wondering, which is great to see. Perhaps that was the message. She's come out to be a little bit of a pinch hitter and see if she can kick the scoring along, and she comes running down the wicket, swing and a miss, and the 3rd wicket of the innings and the 3rd bowled is Jennifer Alumbro in her first match of the Women's Premier League Series, takes her first wicket. Brilliant to see, and great to see a big smile on her face, and her Bauhinia Stars teammates gather around her and give her a little bit of love, which is fantastic to see. And that will see us bring a new batter to the crease.
Is it Tinez?
Is that Tinez,
from
Kowloon Cricket Club
KCC.
side? Tinez comes out to the crease, and like we spoke about, Tracy, they've now opened up one end, and it's an opportunity to just keep picking up wickets at that end.
Yep.
It's not going to be easy for Mariko to build that same sort of partnership and intent with running between the wickets.
Yeah, I think that would definitely
No
be.
ball.
I think the aim there would be to keep Mariko off strike. Mariko is a damaging batter, so if they can keep Mariko off strike and just start keep attacking the other batter, I think that would be the objective from the Bauhinia Stars. So that will get some frustration going with Mariko as well, which then she does play some of these shots as she's getting frustrated and not being able to face enough. So
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to have that game within a game, don't you?
Yep.
Have that little battle and try and keep Mariko off strike. Try and build on that frustration, and obviously you just lose a little bit of your rhythm. Just like a bowler gets rhythm, a batsman has the same sort of thing, and if you can find a way of upsetting that, particularly keeping her off strike, then you're going to hopefully create an opportunity for yourself.
she plays and misses at that one. So I was going to say that the one bowler that they would like to have bowling to is Mariko as much as possible would actually be Ruchi.
Yeah.
Because again, gets into her mind a little bit. She knows that she's been out to Ruchi a number of times throughout this series, and you know, actually throughout history, I would say that Ruchi's probably gotten Mariko more times than anyone else. Even though they play on the same team. So it's really interesting to see Ruchi trying to get the wicket there, the key wicket of Mariko. It's a lovely cover drive again out to the boundary. So it's the one thing with Mariko, she does have shots all around the ground that she can pull out. So
Yeah, Mariko racing along to 45, a lovely shot advancing down the wicket there. This is Ruchi's last over of her potential four, and we see finally a field set change with Long off going back and Cover sitting a bit deeper in the ring, and perhaps thinking to try and get Mariko off strike. She looks to launch that to the leg side, short and down the leg, and Mariko unable to connect with the ball. No run added to the score.
whilst we're sitting here in this humidity and mosquitoes going crazy, loving my fresh blood this morning. So
Yeah, absolutely. The Mozzie's sitting here in our commentary tent, not shy of a nibble. So regular sprays of the mosquito repellent is required, and big couple of balls here for Ruchi. See if she can make another breakthrough in her last two deliveries to the new batter, Tinez.
she has bowled quite well, Ruchi. Unlucky to have not gotten a wicket.
Ruchi with the one wicket.
Oh, one wicket,
Got
yes.
Kinu out, and as Tinez
Stand
pushes
corrected.
forward and defends that. Smart move with this bin now coming into Ruchi's last ball. Tossed up and forward and defended again, and that will end Ruchi's spell of 4 overs. Great effort, finishing on 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 20. Going at 5 and over off her 4. As we see Jennifer Alumbro coming in to bowl her 3rd over.
So I said earlier there was cloud out and about, but we were in the clear blue sky. We're now under the cloud, which basically means that the humidity's just jumped by about 10%.
Yeah, there's you can't really win. The cloud cover comes over and you get more humidity. Oh, it's a drop catch. Possible caught and bowled. Oh, the celebrations that would have, the scenes, there's people with hands on heads all around the ground realising that those opportunities don't come around often, and Jennifer Alumbro absolutely gutted. There's a wry smile on her face, and comes in again, and it's wide and slow, and Mariko unable to do much with it. And oh, I'm sure Jennifer will be looking back at that replay going, oh, how did I drop that?
No ball, the keeper's hands in front of the stumps.
Oh,
The keeper's Shinzin's put her hands in front of the stumps.
umpire wise to the rules, and Shanzine, the keeper, been penalised a no ball, and that's because her gloves went in front of the stumps before the ball was hit by the batsman.
Oh,
So it's
sloughed it up, but
down the ground, caught by Emma, but obviously no wicket because that was the free hit. No damage done. Now here's a question. there's a no ball like that from the keeper. Is that a no ball against the bowler?
Bowler,
It
yes.
is a no ball against the bowler. Well,
Team sport.
poor Jennifer's been
Done in the
done with that no ball through no fault of her own. But it's seen the strike change and she gets the opportunity to bowl to Tinez, and low full toss just tapped back down the wicket and there's no run added. And looking at the way Tinez is approaching her innings thus far, if the ball is on the stumps then it's going to be quite respectful, certainly early on, and that's an opportunity for the Stars to try and keep her on strike and reduce that scoring rate. And Mariko, very aware of the game and quickly calls Tinez through for a leg bye.
Big shout there by the fielding team.
coming on leg.
Yeah, I think it was heading down leg, but she was a long way back in her crease at that point in time, Tina, so it was well worth the shout, but definitely going down leg. So actually treating Jennifer here with quite a bit of respect, the batsman. I think that, as we said earlier, they won't have seen much of her, given that she does play in the second division. And being a relatively small competition here in Hong Kong, everybody knows everybody very well, and has been playing against each other for a number of years. So do get a little bit comfortable with the bowlers that are coming into you, and when you have somebody that's a full toss, just outside the reach of Carrie Chan, and the umpire is going to call that as a no ball. Bit of discussion here in the commentary box. She did actually dance down the track a little bit there, and was still called over waist high, so no ball.
Yeah, but a bit of a tough break there for the Stars and Jennifer. Such is life as Mariko dances down the track and
then
their
pushes
trademark
that
slot. And lovely stroke.
This is where the experience needs to kick in. So that's 3 overs now from Jennifer. Maybe the time to give her a break and have another change in bowling coming on.
Yeah, Mariko racing along now to 47 off 45. Scoring over half of the Jade Jets runs and doing a phenomenal job for her side. As drinks and gloves are run out to the batters. Talking scores that they want to achieve. Umpire's very forgiving here as quite long breaks, and we see change in the bowling, and it looks like Maheen Hyder
Oh, is it?
is going to come into the crease and bowl. So 80 for 3 after 13. Wasp predicted score of 127, which would be a very good score out here on what is quite a slow outfield, very hot conditions. Scoring is slow to update. Mariko Hill has made her 50. She's 52 off 44. Phenomenal innings thus far, and really the driving force behind this Jade Jets total, and that's going to have to be the target of how they can manage that. The Bauhinia Stars can manage that in the last 7 overs. I think tactically you obviously want to take a wicket, but probably want to make sure you're only conceding a single off Mariko, no boundaries, and do your best to squeeze the batter at the other end and keep her on strike. Looks like the umpires.
Oh no, he's
Yeah, he spotted it. He spotted it.
yeah, and well done with the umpiring effort, and by
Candy spotted it.
national coach here, who's been identifying that the wrong batsman was on strike. Mariko may be very keen to get more runs there, is thinking I'll get down and face as many balls as possible.
Absolutely, crafty that.
Yeah.
Almost got the wool over the umpire's eyes, but they spotted, and well spotted at that. And Tina's now on strike to Maheen Hydra. She comes in for her first delivery. Full and respected by her Kowloon Cricket Club teammate. Great start. Very full, but like we spoke about, if you're able to bowl on the stumps, then you're going a long way to be effective as a bowler.
Little bit short, that one, and paddled over the short square leg there, just for the single, getting Rico back on strike. Just got the message through from my husband that I'm supposed to be watching a horse run in Australia in 10 minutes, and hopefully it comes in with a winner. So hopefully he'll send me a message back in 10 minutes time to say that that horse has come in. Thank you, Max.
That's full, and lovely delivery there, and no run scored. Yeah, the races in Australia. I think they'll all be looking forward to hope that under the new normal next year, the Melbourne Cup will be able to go ahead.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's normally the start of the cricket season, which in Australia.
Glorious shot that. Americo Hill down on one knee, hits it over mid-off for 4, and I think the Bauhinia Stars are going to have to revisit their field setting here, and they have. They're brought up mid-off, and looks like mid-on's going to go back, so smart move, and we'll see how Americo looks to approach that. Certainly not a bad ball by Maheen.
She squeezed that one out and caught at point by Ellison.
It's a great wicket, and you really can't express how big that wicket is, especially with Americo currently on 46, scoring 56 of 56 of the Jade Jets' 86 runs, and she departs after a fantastic innings as she looked to progress things on a little bit, and now we're going to see Jasmine Titmus, more than capable as a batter, but now with two relatively fresh batters at the crease, it's a huge opportunity for the Bauhinia Stars to slow that scoring rate down and try and wrestle back that control and restrict the Jade Jets as much as possible, as they were on track for a 120, 130 plus score, and if they can now look to reduce that closer to 100, 110, then they'll be very pleased and have an opportunity to score those runs. Thanks again to everybody for tuning in to the live stream today for Game 2 of the Women's Premier League 2020 series. Bauhinia Stars winning the toss and electing to field first, and with an early breakthrough of taking the wicket of Paul Toe. There was a huge partnership between Kenu Gill and Americo Hill and a couple of other wickets, and just now we've just saw the wicket of Americo Hill fall for 56, and now we've got two new batters at the crease. A lovely ball by Maheen Hydra, comes in, and just simple and effective bowling as she comes in bowling full and in and around the stumps, and great effort as Jasmine just pushes her hands out at the ball there. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and if you would love to see your comments in the live chat, if you've got any questions for us, or put in the comments box where in the world you're watching from. Great to know how far and wide our stream is reaching, so please put in the comments box, the live chat, where in the world you're watching from.
We've got Miriam Bibby coming back on from the police station end. Miriam opened the innings with quite a tidy couple of overs.
Just an update on the temperatures here. Humidity is high, feels 32 degrees but feels like 41. It's absolutely cooking out there. Won't be easy for certainly Shanzine, who's been under the helmet as a wicket keeper just about the whole innings. I hope she's going to get a little bit of respite and comes in the middle order, so she's got a chance to just cool down. You see the field, complete contrast to when Mariko Hill was out there. We've now got everybody inside the ring.
Oh,
Disappointing delivery. Marianne won't be happy with that, as she's given up 4 runs really through a poor delivery short down the leg side, and Tina has a great shot getting it past the short 45, and that's 4 runs. And the Bauhinia Stars will be really disappointed with that. That's a unforced error that, in the the circumstances of the game, they've just taken the big wicket, had an opportunity to really try and squeeze and string together some dot balls, and they only managed to bowl a short wide one down the leg side. So
it's good to see Captain Carrie Chan come over and have a quick chat with her bowler there, and give her that confidence to say, come on, get back into that. And then she comes out with a nice ball. So good leadership there by Carrie today.
yeah, absolutely, and a great comeback delivery by Marianne. Full and on the stumps, and Tina's just respecting that and tapping it back.
A
little bit short.
Stealing each other's words there, Mark.
Yeah, good chase by the Bauhinia Stars, and just shows that Tinas's approach here is, if it's full and straight, she's going to be pretty cautious and respectful, but as soon as a bowler loses their length, she's going to really try and capitalise that and hit that through the square leg fielder. So that's 6 off the over already with 2 balls left. Disappointing from the Stars, who would have been looking for an economical over, as that's pulled out again, and direct hit, but
some good fielding there, but
just the
not
one
so
run.
great backup. So Dorothea, the only one there, really focused on ensuring that the fielders on the offside there were actually backing up and cleaning up that deflected ball. So some great fielding there by Dorothea.
oh, no ball again, and we've seen a few of those today. That's going to be another free hit. Great opportunity for the Jade Jets to enter the last 5 overs with a free hit and try and take some momentum through. And
Looks like Tinaz is there pointing out the areas that Jasmine should be focusing on. Oh,
and
and
she tries,
she
but
tried, but missed.
a play and a miss, and Bauhinia Stars have got away with that one, but still 8 off the over with 2 new batters at the crease. It's a disappointing effort for the Stars, and they're really going to be looking to their bowlers for these last 5 overs to say, hey, we've done some great work here to get rid of some of the set batsmen coming into the last phase. Let's make sure that we're consistent and full and at the stumps, and make the batsmen have to take the game to us. Let's not serve up anything that's easy to score off. Let's see what these 2 batters are capable of, as we see Maheen Hyder come in for her second over after going for 5 off her first, but taking a huge wicket of Mariko Hill. Good length delivery and just pushed to mid-wicket for no run.
I think these last 5 overs are quite critical. This is the time where you can either win or lose the match based on if you can really focus and get these 2 new batsmen kind of questioning their ability. So some smart bowling here will really put the favour into the Bauhinia Stars. So they can keep the pressure on. They're still chatty in the field. There's still quite a bit of enthusiasm out there. So they can really put the pressure on in this over and the next, then might even be able to keep it to that 120.
Wide down the leg side, and fortunate that Tinaz hasn't got any bat on that because there's no fine leg. And any bat on that, that would be racing down to the boundary. So lots of enthusiasm and encouragement out in that field, willing their bowlers to keep it on those stumps. Any score much over 110, 120 is going to be very difficult to chase down. It's a great delivery by Maheen, full and just defended by Tinaz.
Tina's still quite careful in her approach. Faced 14 balls now and still looking like she's very cautious in the way that she's playing the game. Oh, I say as she goes for a big swing and dropped there by Rashida at mid-on. Just got herself a little bit too far under that one. She's pretty upset with that as well. She's still down on the ground.
Yeah, she will be very disappointed with that. That was a regulation catch, and batters have managed to run through for one run, and just ran in a little bit too far and take that catch over her head and fell backwards, and just in the fall lost control of the delivery, and Jasmine faces up and another dot ball. Maheen doing a great job here for her side in her 2 overs thus far, and she'll be looking to close out this over. Brilliant over so far. A little bit short, but no bounce there, and goes through to Shenzhen. She adds keeper's gloves and there's no run added, so fantastic over that from Maheen, and after the 2 overs she's bowled, she's only gone for the 7 runs and taken the big wicket of Mariko Hill. So fantastic effort by her. So looks like we see a bowling change at the Argyle Street end with Alison Sue coming on. And
First time I've seen Alison from this end actually, so all of the previous matches she's gone from the softball end.
She looks like she's got a bit of a sore bonce after falling back after dropping that catch and possibly just banging her head. I'm sure the frustration of the drop is more disappointing as we see Alison mark her run up and get in position. In the field, everybody in the ring, no boundary sweepers, no one out, so they're really backing their bowlers to bowl at the stumps nice and full and looking to squeeze as much as possible, as that's short and down the leg side, and it's gone through the fielder on the 45, and fortunately for the Stars it's not gone all the way and it's just the 2 off it.
Not great fielding there. Got down to it and allowed it to bounce over the hands.
Yeah, I wonder, looking at this field set, whether it's still wise just to have that fine leg back on the boundary, given that that's typically the area where boundaries are often scored, especially from what we've seen from Tinaz, who's looked to go across her stumps and capitalise on anything short. It's a great delivery by Alison. Clearly, if you bowl there to Tinaz, she's going to be respectful of something that's fallen on the stumps. So the challenge to the bowlers is simple. Get it up there onto the stumps and
short it on up.
Yeah, I'd like to see one up on her toes, because I think Tinaz is really, she's quite set in coming forward and blocking things out. Get one up on her toes and see how she deals with that fuller delivery. I think would be quite interesting to see how she goes with that. A little bit stuck on the crease there, so
big appeal there. I'm looking forward to the replay, see if there was any bat involved or going down leg or what happened. Oh, don't know. I can't tell if there's any bat, but certainly looked like it was worth a very, very big shout. Oh. Perfect delivery
let's,
there,
let's
and
not say too much more about that one.
another good delivery by Alison, nice and full, and earned herself another dot ball. Very valuable for her side in this over, and really big opportunity for the Bauhinia Stars to try and really restrict the Jade Jets as they sit at 99 for 4, and
100.
it's another wide, and that brings the 100 up for the Jade Jets, and Stars will be disappointed with these little freebies they're giving away to a... But they know that getting that ball full on the off stump is going to almost certainly earn themselves a dot ball, as Tinez gives that a strike, and just to get the one run as it goes a little bit wide of Jennifer Alumbro at mid-on.
Rain in the air.
So we see some of our crew walking around with plastic bags. The threat of a rain shower or thunderstorm exists. As Alison goes full and wide, and Jasmine unable to run that down to third man, and there's no run added. Score at 101 for 4.
Have noticed that the umbrellas are up over the cameras. There's a nice little ad by the Cricket Hong Kong boys setting up the cameras this morning.
Yeah,
Getting used to the weather conditions and realising that there is going to be a bit of rain at some point in time. Let's put an umbrella up over the cameras so that it's uninterrupted.
yeah, it's not just the rain, it's the heat as well. Tracy, those cameras, not a big fan of having the belting sun on their
That's fair.
black cases, so
I don't blame them.
they requested having an umbrella over them, and Cricket Hong Kong staff obliged, and the joys of having a few cable ties and a bit of duct tape, we can stop those cameras from getting a bit of burn from the sun, and hopefully at the same time stop them from getting wet in the rain.
Okay, so yeah, 12th man has come on. So Jen Davies has come on for some fielding responsibilities. Emma Lai taking the 12th man responsibilities, or no, she's actually staying on. Can we do it? Can we do a quick count? Make sure that there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So who has gone off?
Alumbro.
Ruchi might have come off
Oh,
with
Ruchi's
that
gone
bang
off.
to her
Ruchi.
head.
Yeah, maybe Richie's come off. And we've had a change in
Yeah,
the...
and
Oh.
falls short. The throw at the stumps, it's all happening and nothing happens, and that's one run added to the score as Carrie Chan lines up for her second delivery. Short and wide, and punch down the ground, and Carrie fields that off her own bowling, and no run is added by Jasmine Titmus.
Yeah, I think Jasmine will be a bit disappointed with that one because there was runs on that ball.
Full, and Jasmine trying out a bit of Marico Hill there and going for the big slog sweep, unable to make contact and just missing the stumps. There's a deep square leg just in front of square that's out there for a bit of protection. It's an aggressive swipe and thrown over the stumps, but unable to get the run out, and that's one run. See the groundsman lining up, getting the covers ready, so certainly a threat of a shower coming through. It's another dot ball, so scoring rate just sort of grinding to a halt once the bowlers execute their skills consistently. Ball away, and fingertip stuff at mid-wicket. Enough to slow the ball down as Jennifer Alumbro runs round, collects the ball, and it's just one run. Jen Davies in the action straight away as she comes in off after 12th man duties.
Jen Davies does enjoy being out there in the field. You know, normally a keeper, and I was playing in a game a couple of weeks ago, and the game finished quite early, so we decided to go on for a little bit longer and had a bit of a friendly. Jen was the first out there to say, I don't want to keep, I want to go out and be in the field. Where can I be? And wherever anyone was hitting it, Jen was like, I want to be there.
Yeah, keepers can be like a little bit like a caged animal. They like to get out of their little keeping box and run around. A lot of keepers also think they're the best bowler in the team and are keen to get into the nets and show what they're made of. Certainly as a keeper myself, Tracy, I'm not shy of picking up the ball and claiming some wickets at a training session. Any ball that's hit in the air is almost certainly caught by some fielder somewhere.
You're talking about keepers bowling. Lemon Chung occasionally bowls in men's Saturday League cricket, where she's not required to keep.
Marianne Bibby onto, oh dear, slides down the leg side and the umpire extends his arms and
Second last over, we don't want those wides.
certainly frustrating as a coach seeing that and seeing unforced errors and freebie runs given away, and it just ticks another one onto the Jade Jets score as they move along to 105 for 4 after 18 overs, 2 overs left in this first innings of match 2 as that full toss is pulled away and they scramble through for a single. Great to have everybody tuning in with us for what is match 2 of the Women's Premier League T20 series. After this match we'll have the Men's All-Stars exhibition final between the Kowloon Lions and the Hong Kong Islanders as Marianne just runs through the crease and it's a dead ball. This partnership moving along. Tinaz 16 off 25 and Jasmine just the 1 off her 9 deliveries. She'll be looking to try and head over these infielders in the ring on the leg side. And there we go. As it just gets over Jen Davies' head, she chases it down and the batters run through for 2. Looked like the ball was a little bit slippery, but we picked it up in the end.
And the sly little look from Jen Davies there saying,
Yeah.
don't talk about me, don't talk about me.
Jen Davies just moving back to sort of a 3/4 position, expecting Jasmine to go through for that shot again onto the leg side, and there it goes, and that might go all the way, and it does go all the way.
That's the first 6 we've seen today, and maybe for the competition, I don't recall anybody actually getting it up and over the boundary.
Mariam hit a
I
couple.
think there was Marianne in one of the Bauhinia Stars winning match, and great shot by Jasmine. And that just brings life into the Jade Jets dugout as they jump up from their seats, signalling 6 and a few fist pumps. And that all of a sudden changes that scorecard as the Jade Jets go to 114 for 4. Again, down leg side and races down to fine leg, and it's going to be 2 more to the score, so disappointing over thus far from the Bauhinia Stars. Skipper Carrie Chan comes up just to have a chat to the bowler. I really think they're missing a trick having that fine leg back, which seems to be a productive area of scoring. Currently just the 3 fielders out, long on, a deep mid wicket and a deep cover.
Lovely.
Yorker, great bowl, great delivery and expensive over this second to last over. 12 runs off it thus far. A huge over in the context of this match and it's completely changed that Jade Jet scorecard and giving them a lot of momentum as they move towards this second innings as they look to defend the total. And that concludes the 19th over. The Jade Jets 116 for 4 as we enter into the last over. Tinaz 16 off 25, and Jasmine, all of a sudden, after being 1 off 9 deliveries with that 6 and a 2, she's gone to 11 off 13, and this partnership racing along to 30 invaluable runs for the Jade Jets team. And
Carrie Chan bowling the last over, so captain taking responsibility, wanting to make sure that she finishes off strong.
they're really critical over this. They really don't want to be having anything more than 120 to chase in these hot conditions. Not a particularly fast outfield.
Got quite a lot of spin on that one. You
Yeah, great
moved
turn.
quite a bit. Started outside off and went further outside off. Just out of Tenaz's reach.
It's fallen,
Oh, full and missed.
dipping, and
Oh, he's called that no
no
ball.
ball, which is interesting. That looked like that was almost coming down at vertical, and
Yeah, interesting
Well.
one there.
the umpire's deeming that to be over waist high, and it's a free hit, and it's racing out to deep mid wicket, and they'll pick up 2 runs. Again, these sort of unforced errors, the coach's worst nightmare, and giving these Jade Jets a few extra runs as they move to 119 with 4 overs left in the innings. Better delivery and dot ball. Great effort by Carrie and her keeper Shanzine.
See Jasmine really keen to get down the other end, backing up quite a way. They thought there was a chance for a run out there. Again, she's backing up quite a long way.
Got past the keeper and just be the one by, I suspect, and it no, it's come off the
Yeah,
off the-
no, he did.
come off something. I think that's come off the bat, according to the umpire. As we see field set change with long on, long off going back, knowing that Jasmine's going to be looking to hit long and hard, straight, possibly bringing out that sweep shot. And there's no protection at deep square leg. As Jasmine moves across the stumps, unable to make contact, and that is a dot ball. So you have 1 run, 1 ball left. Jade Jets currently sitting on 120 for 4.
I think at the start of the day, if you had said what would be a good score, I think the Jade Jets would be happy with that.
Skied in the air,
That's safe.
fielder runs in. They need to get that ball in quick, and they haven't. Man, disappointing effort in the field, lack of urgency, and great bit of running between the wickets by the Jade Jets as they run through for 2, and that'll take the score, the Jade Jets score, to 122 for 4 after their 20 overs. Certainly going to be a tough score to chase down on a slowish wicket that's taking a bit of turn, not a particularly quick outfield, and Bauhinia Stars, I think, will look back and just rue some of those unforced errors, those short deliveries and those wides that really, if they were able to reduce those, then that scorecard would look quite different. As we look through the scorecard,
Yeah, so
10 wide, 6 no balls, and obviously you really can't afford to be giving those away in this level of cricket, and that sort of, if they go back and look at some of the deliveries that the boundaries were scored off, they would have been short and wide ones. As we go through the scorecard, Pulto out for 1 run off 5 deliveries, bowled in the second over by Allison, a great delivery to open her spell. Mariko Hill, a phenomenal innings, looking incredibly comfortable out there, 56 off 47, including 10 fours. Unfortunately out after there was a bowling change, bringing in Maheen Haider. At the time that she got out, she had scored up well over half the runs for her side, and combined with Keanu Gill for a very good partnership. Keanu bowled by Ruchi Venkatesh of 15 off 24. Lemon Chung looking to come out and be ultra aggressive and unable to connect, and she got out for no runs off her 4 with Jennifer Alumbro in her first match in the Women's Premier League fixtures. Took a wicket. Great, outstanding effort, and Tina's fantastic effort by her at the end, combining with Jasmine. Tina's 19 not out off 29 deliveries, and Jasmine, after a slow start, 13 off 16, including a maximum 6 runs over deep mid wicket that earned herself a standing ovation from her Jade Jets teammates. Pick of the bowlers, I think, for the Bauhinia Stars, probably looking at Maheen Hyder, 2 overs, no maidens, 1 for 7, just the 3.5 and over off her overs, and probably looks back and potentially deserved 2 extra overs there. And you can't go past as well Jennifer Alumbro, 3 overs, no maidens, 1 for 22, a little expensive, but the big wicket of Mariko Hill would have certainly changed the outcome of this batting innings. Tracy taking that wicket where she was going along at a strike rate of 120 and looking to accelerate. That wicket certainly pulled back the total and allowed them to restrict them to 122 for 4 off their 20 overs.
Definitely did. We saw a bit of a halt on the scoring rate after that wicket of Mariko Hill was taken, so it was definitely a big impact on the end result. I think overall though the Jade Jets will be pretty happy with 122 of their 20 overs. Relatively big score for it to be chased down, and I think the Bauhinia Stars will need all of their batting skills to come out today. Last match we saw some disappointing batting from them, and so I think we really need to see them at their best today.
Yeah, it's going to be a really tough total to chase down, but they've got some batting capabilities there. But they're going to have to play long innings. Their strike batsmen are going to have to take a little bit of time to get themselves in, but having to go at over 6s from the start is not going to be easy, and it's very, very challenging chasing a score like that. Doesn't take too many dot balls for that run rate to increase and get out of hand, so it's going to require some careful management, and if the Jade Jets are able to be disciplined with their bowling, then I think they're going to be putting themselves in the driver's seat to take out this Game 2 of the Women's Premier League and shore up and secure the 3-match series, having won the first match. We're going to take a quick break here while the groundsmen repaint the lines and a few warm-ups, and we'll be back with you in about 5 minutes' time for the start of the second innings of the CHK Women's Premier League 2020 Match 2. Welcome back to Kwong Road Recreation Ground as we get ready to start the second innings of the Game 2 of the Women's Premier League T20. If you're just tuning in with us now, the Bauhinia Stars won the toss, elected to field, and after an early breakthrough there was a big partnership, and Mariko Hill ending up with great innings of 56. After the loss of her wicket, things slowed up, but the Jade recovered and finished with a total of 122 for 4. Great total out here on Kwong Road Recreation Ground. Quite a slow outfield and very, very hot conditions here in Hong Kong. Currently around 33 degrees, but reliably informed by my weather app that the feels like temperature is around 39-40 degrees. So certainly tough conditions to be playing in, but a great test for these players, and thus far we've seen some really good cricket. So the target for the Bauhinia Stars, 123 to win, and Emma Lai will be opening the batting with Shanzine Shazad, who's phenomenal effort by her, who's been wicket keeping for 20 overs in the heat with a helmet on for the entire innings, and I don't even know if she had a chance to take it off as she put her batting gear on and she heads straight out there. And we're going to see the off-spin bowling of Betty Chan opening up from the softball stadium end, which is interesting. Most teams open the bowling from the end, the commentary box end here, the Argyle Street end, and finish at the softball end, but the Jade Jets changing things up, and Betty Chan's going to open the bowling here as the field set is tweaked, and expect to see a little bit of turn out here on this pitch. Used wicket, used for 3 games already in the men's All-Stars exhibition, and that's fallen outside off and left alone, but off the gloves of Lemon Chung, and that'll be...
Yeah,
she got a little bit of bat off that.
Yeah, just
That's one run.
Sneaky little.
All right, yeah, just run it off the face of the bat and through the slip, and Emma Lai just rotating the strike off the first ball. Skipper Jasmine Titmus there in first slip. So you see just the one sweeper out with deep square leg back, well in front of square. 5-4 offside field. Wide outside off, second delivery. Umpire extends his arms and takes the score to 2.
Yeah, I was just about to say, off 2 balls, Betty probably the most expensive she's
Great
actually been.
back foot punch, sorry to interrupt, great back foot punch there by Shanzine, and pulled in just inside the boundary for 2 runs.
Betty renowned as being very economical and not giving many runs away, and after 3 balls, 2 of them legal, 4 off this over already is very unlike Betty.
There we go, a little bit straighter there, back to the Betty that we know, and just punched out to cover for no run. Oh, it's just off the bottom edge. Down past the keeper, and Tammy Chu on the 45 runs round and collects that, and that's just another run to the score, which is a very solid start thus far by the Bauhinia Stars, as Emma Lai back on strike for her second delivery. Smash down the ground over long on, and lovely shot, and Shanzine a great bit of running between the wickets as she calls Emma back for 2. So a lovely little start here.
A little bit of a cheer squad here by men's national coach over the back, TJ. She's got a good number on the back too. Oh, he's a bit of fan of their Emma Lai number, what, 23? Renard is the, was Shane Warne is a 20, was it 23? Yeah.
That concludes the first over. 7 off it.
Michael Jordan, is it, I'm just trying to think who's the current 23 actually, is it? I don't know who's wearing 23 in the Australian side at the moment.
As we see skipper Jasmine Titmus taking the new ball from the Argyle Street end. She'll be bowling her right arm over bowling.
Right arm over bowling as opposed to what, the right arm over throwing or what?
Yeah,
what is that,
I don't know.
Be funny to have a bowler
Just
doing anything other than
yeah,
bowling.
I mean, I just thought I'd add to the weekend's commentary blunders with the long barrel yesterday. The right arm over bowling today.
Let's see whether Jasmine's got her direction right today. She seems to be a little bit inconsistent at times where she'll have a good day and then a bad day.
Well,
Oh, there you go.
I tell you what, when Jasmine listens to that back home, she's going to be having words with you, Tracy. Hopefully that's not a sign of a bad day, Tracy, because
Hopefully it's just a bad ball and then
just
she's
a loosener.
and she's ready for the good day after that. Ah, that's much better.
Well, we've seen both days in 2 deliveries,
Yeah.
Tracy. There's a bad day and a good day thus far. We'll see what the rest of the over has in store.
I do get quite a bit of feedback on the commentary from the girls. They're like, Tracy, why did you say that? And I was like, oh, sorry. Didn't mean to say anything inappropriate.
A nice shot there by Shanzine, just run down to third man for 1 run. Just the one fielder out on the boundary at the moment, down at third man. Quite a long way in the ring, in from the boundary I should say. Brings Emma Lai onto the strike. This will be her first delivery facing Jasmine. Bit short and wide, and Emma unable to get any bat on that, and it just goes through to Lemon. Wicket keeper. Yeah, great to see a little crowd in the corner of the ground, and photographers and cameramen spotted around from various media outlets in Hong Kong as Jasmine comes in again. Good length delivery, just pushed out to Chansahar at point for no run. Great to see the women's game getting plenty of publicity around Hong Kong, and real appetite for women's sport at the moment, particularly cricket, and really exciting event this. Women's Premier League, a new initiative this year.
And Mark, did you say earlier that there's another stream happening at the moment with the Cantonese?
Yeah,
Correct?
yeah, there is. There's another stream. There's a second commentary box here at the ground, and you can swap over to the Cantonese stream if you speak and understand the Cantonese. Great to be able to provide that for the local audience here in Hong Kong Chinese population. As Jasmine comes in for the last ball of the over. Lovely delivery outside off, and Emma just pushes her hands at it, and it beats the outside edge and goes through the keeper Lemon. That's the end of the over. After 2 overs, 9 without loss after 2.
So we've got Betty continuing on from the softball stadium end. Just ticking it over over here. These two batters will just rotate the strike, get themselves in. Emma probably is the one that will play her shots a bit more. Nicely swept away there by Shaz. To the open area at square leg. Much quieter in the field, the Jade Jets, than what the Bauhinia Stars were. And there's Emma playing those shots again. Or a bit of uncertainty there. Tina's not sure whether she should be running back with the flight of the ball, or Katie coming in from mid-on there. Fell in between the two. I think they're both looking at each other, not sure who should be taking that one. Importance of communication out there in the field. Need to make sure that somebody's calling it quite early on. So you see there that Emma's actually aiming to play her shots. I think Emma's very focused on her strike rate this season and trying to make sure that she's at a high strike rate wherever possible. It's been very good for her from her batting statistics in the current year. Much tighter over this over from Betty. Bit of uncertainty there with the running. Could have potentially pushed for a single there if they were quick off the mark.
Yeah, it's probably the big contrast between this partnership and the Jade Jets, where they were very proactive with their running between the wickets and very willing to put pressure on the fielders and take a little bit of a risk, as that's a low full toss and struck nicely, but struck to a very well placed Kinu Gill that's out at the deep forward square leg boundary.
Long barrel, long
barrier. Great use of the long barrel technique out there, just to make sure that it's a risk-free fielding effort. Last thing you want, that is going through your legs. Emma comes down the ground and strikes it through extra cover, and going to be the 2 runs in the slow outfield, but a lovely shot.
Very good footwork there by Emma, getting to the flight of the ball.
Yeah, really like the intent from Emma here, looking to take the game to Betty, and she's played 2 shots. Some aggressive intent there, which is really good to see, as the Bauhinia Stars move to 12 off their 3 overs, and run rate required moves to just under 6.5 and over.
I don't think they've got anyone out at the moment for Jasmine.
A good bit of running between the wickets and a great effort just to work that into the vacant square leg area for 1 run. Working that into the leg side and running, but certainly not a run there, and Shanzine not interested, and no run added to the score.
Good calling there by Shaz, sending Emma back. I think Emma was quite keen to keep the runs ticking over, but good call by Emma to send her back on that one.
Having a crack at that, but unable to break that fortress of fielders on the offside, and no run added through there. You've got to be able to hit with a lot of power through that offside if you're going to break that 5-6-6-3 field.
potentially the strongest fielder on the park out there being Puto. Puto definitely showed her fielding ability in the earlier matches, the 35 over match competition. Took 5 catches in one match, so we're very strong from a fielding perspective out there on the offside.
Jasmine doing a good job here, just bowling fairly full, and Emma having a go at hitting down the ground and unable to make a strong contact, and easy catch for Betty Chan as she just jogs round from her mid-off position. And really like the intent from Emma to try and hit down the ground, but unable to get the power needed into that shot, and it's resulted in a wicket falling, and you see it looks like Marianne Bibby, I think, coming out to the crease.
Or is it Jasmine Duck? Is it Mariam?
Mariam, yeah. 14.
Yeah, good little spell of bowling there from the Jade Jets, particularly Jasmine Titmus, who's trying to bowl nice and full, not offering any short bowling or short bowling with width, which tends to be a very productive scoring area for most batsmen. Marianne Bibby, during the 35 over series, is a key player in winning the game for the Bauhinia Stars with a batting innings with a superb striking, and really put the Jade Jets on the back foot with her batting. And if she's able to do that today, then she could get her Bauhinia Stars off to a good start and progress nicely towards the target of 123. At the conclusion of the 4th over, the score is 15 for 1, and that run rate just seems to be dropping down after a good first over. Run rate moving up above 6.5s.
So change in the bowling there, Kinu Gill coming on. So in the past we have seen Betty Chan bowl out her 4 overs right up front, but holding back a couple of overs from Betty for later on and bringing Kinu on.
Yeah, there's a comment in the comments box saying Marianne Bibby is a hitter beware. A little warning sent out to the Jade Jets through the live chat. Couldn't agree more, Leo. It's wide outside off and pushed at, but no contact made and no run scored. Bit fuller this time and wide outside off, and Marianne pushes at that ball, but again going past the outside edge. Jade Jets bowlers looking a lot more disciplined than their Bauhinia Stars opposition, particularly at just keeping that ball a little bit fuller.
Good conditions for Kinu. She gets quite a bit of swing naturally, and with the cloud cover she's likely to have it moving around a bit more.
Full and attacking the pads, and here I am just getting a bit of bat on it and able to only manage to squirt that down to the short fine leg, and again no run. Pushed out to cover, and again pushed out to point, and again no run. And Dot balls are becoming a regular thing, and that was one of the biggest contrasts between this innings thus far and the Jade Jets innings. Jade Jets were really effective at rotating the strike. That's short and cut and through the fielder, and that's a very, very welcome boundary, and Mariam capitalising on the short wide delivery from Kinu there, and welcome boundary. And we speak about this in all forms of cricket, but particularly 2020 is the ability to rotate the strike, and if you combine that with a boundary in the over, you end up with these big overs, Tracy. But thus far there's 4 dots and that one boundary, which boundary is very effective, but if there are a few more singles in there, that would be really making that over into a valuable one and a productive one for the Stars as they threaten to run a single and decide against it with Chansaha, who's a strong fielder there at point.
Looked like a bit of uncertainty there with the calling between the wickets, so they really need to get the communication working and making sure that they understand whether they're going to go for those quick singles or not. Chansaha is a strong fielder, but there was probably the opportunity for a single there. Another bowling change here. We've got Mariko Hill coming on from the police station end.
Yeah, Mariko, the fastest bowler in women's cricket in Hong Kong, and comes with it with a real threat to the batters, but also an opportunity to use that pace, and that's why you see fine leg and third man go back on the boundary, and also a deep square leg in position, either a sign of an intent to bowl the short ball or just there as a distraction to the batsman. Keep that in the back of their mind. It's dabbed wide of Kinu Gill, who was at a second slip sort of position in just the one run. Employs a very different tactic here to Mariam and brings up the deep square leg into mid-wicket and brings across Jasmine into the offside, into a short cover, strengthens that offside field. Run rate currently at around almost 3.9, but the run rate required almost at 7s already. Comes in, there's a toe edge and it goes between the keeper and slip, and just manage 2 runs.
Looked to be a bit of confusion and frustration out there by the Jade Jets, the fielding, so the heat may be starting to play a part in this game.
Yeah, it looked like Lemon, aware to the fact that Shanzine might be walking slowly to get in the crease and trying to get that run out at the non-strikers as Mariko goes full and attacking the stumps, and it's just pushed out to Jasmine Titmus at short cover.
Church bells ringing in the background. Not sure if that's getting picked up on the microphone, but
and asking the first batsman down, the first batsman or batter to get out was Emma Lai, as it squirted out off the outside edge, and Mariam turning blind, but they're going to run through for 2. Shanzine looking to get a little bit floppy there, as she's getting tired, and we've got a free hit for over the waist.
No, I think it's
Front foot.
Yeah.
Front foot. Sorry, I mistook the old waist tap from the umpire as the halfway point in the over.
very short there.
Short and wide, and Mariko's going to have to re-bowl that one, and Mariam's still going to have the free hit as the umpire waves his lasso around his head and signals the free hit. Full and struck down the ground just to mid-on for 1 run. Good bit of running between the wickets. Yeah, Tracy, the old church bells have replaced the endangered Kaitak korkor that we're used to hearing at the ground, and maybe they've migrated for the summer, and we can hear as a few sparrows and pigeons and the occasional cicada.
Interesting, as I was watching, that's a very short ball and it's got a lot of bounce over the head of Lemon Chong there as the keeper, and they've run through for 2 byes there, so good running. I was actually watching the stream on Thursday, was it? When
Thursday or Saturday, when you heard the Kwong Road foghorn?
Yeah,
Went a couple of times.
Yeah, I did hear it, and I was going to make a comment on the stream, and then I realised that my boss had probably realised that I was watching the cricket instead of working, so didn't make any comments on that day. But yeah, there goes that foghorn.
You'd think we're in a harbour somewhere, and the tugboats having a work out there, but you'd be mistaken for that. But we're actually not too close to the water, and all you're hearing there is big nose blow by big Trent Johnston.
Always one of the big debates when I'm sitting in the office and I've got the cricket streaming beside me and thinking, do I mention that I'm actually watching the cricket, or do I just...
You need to set up an alias, don't you, so people don't know it's you.
It's been great to be able to have so much good cricket.
Woeful toss, but
Oh,
that's
man.
all. It's bad, and umpire quick to shake his head, and we look forward to watching the replay and seeing where that ball was going.
Probably heading down leg just, I'd say.
Again, a low full toss, unable to beat Varikalu's that short cover.
As I was saying, it is great to have had so much high quality cricket this season, with the Women's Premier League and also the Men's All-Stars League. It's really brought another dimension to cricket in Hong Kong. And you know, great to be able to see the best cricketers, both men and women, playing against each other as often as possible throughout this season. So got the women this morning and then the men's final this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. It's despite being an interrupted season by COVID, there's been a huge amount going on in the world of cricket in Hong Kong with, as you mentioned, the Women's Premier League, the Men's All-Stars Series, and we've also got the Boys Youth Pathway started up, and they had their first under 16 All-Stars fixture yesterday, replicating the men's structure with Kwong Islanders, Kowloon Lions and New Territories Tigers. Close game out at PKVR Park, and that's short and pulled away to the leg side, but it's only going to be one as it doesn't break the ring. And they'll be out here next weekend playing games on Saturday and then Sunday in the lead up to the Women's Premier League final match, the third match of the Women's Premier League T20 series.
So next Sunday we have the under 16s in the morning and then the ladies in the afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be another great day of cricket in what is some very hot and testing conditions, but grateful for the chance to continue to play cricket. Run rate sitting at 4.29 and the required rate now gone over 7 and over, and Bauhinia Stars are going to want to make sure that they don't let that run rate creep up much higher than that, certainly not for an extended period of time, as this partnership moves along to 15 with Mariam scoring 10 of those, Shanzine just contributing the 1 off her 6 deliveries in this partnership, and Shanzine having faced 8 off 16 balls, only striking at strike rate of 50. She's really going to have to need to up that for her side as leading edge goes down to third man. There's a misfield, but these two batting out here clearly looking like they're getting a bit affected by the heat, and certainly tough for Shanzine Tracy, who was the wicket keeper for 20 overs in the heat with a helmet on for the majority of that time, and she's been sent out to open the batting, so no respite for her, and certainly tough conditions to try and back that up.
Yeah, definitely should be feeling the heat today. Just edging that one through, kind of guiding it down past the slip, down to third man.
Yeah, and another display of the long barrel being enforced.
I do see the next batsman warming up there. It looks like it might be Ruchi, warming up with big swinging of the bat there. So she's not necessarily warming up with her forward defensive, but looking for the pull shot.
Yeah, well, there's certainly no need to sort of warm up physically in these conditions, Tracy. It's absolutely cooking. So we see a pull shot out to the leg side, and really not a lot of intent running between the wickets, which is disappointing to see, and a extra run has gone begging, and I can only assume that that's just a sign of the heat taking its toll on these players, and you really can't afford to be giving up runs in these conditions, and that's where your fitness comes in these conditions, Tracy, and quite similar to conditions that you face when playing cricket in Malaysia or Thailand at different times of the year. And women's cricket and associate cricket, often the schedules are very, very tight, often games back to back and consecutive days, so you need to be fit so you're able to maintain your execution and your standards and express your skills consistently. It'll be interesting to see if that fitness element takes its toll on some players, or some players are able to maintain their skill and enthusiasm and speed throughout the game.
Yeah, it definitely is a challenge. As you said earlier, we normally would play the majority of our sport in the winter months. So it is unusual for folks here in Hong Kong to be out in this heat playing sport. Those of you who are from other countries would know that cricket normally is a summer sport, but in those climates like the UK, Australia, New Zealand, where it's less humid and potentially hotter, but it's actually a very dry heat, it's quite easy to play cricket in those conditions.
Oh, there's no ball, full toss and
very
hit down to the
wild.
leg side, but well positioned fielders with Tammy Chu down there on the fine leg, and just the one run scored and an opportunity for a free hit here, and you don't get many of them, so you've got to really make the most of that opportunity as a batter. And with this leg side field looking wide open, only mid wicket and mid on in the ring, that's probably where I'd be going, Tracy. I'd be walking across those stumps and looking to
I think he's given a first warning for dangerous
hit it to
bowling.
cow corner, and
Cow corner,
looks like the
that's-
umpire might have given a warning for that
Yeah, he has.
beamer. It's short, and there's the pull
yeah.
shot.
Lovely
Fantastic shot picked up,
Really
and
well played.
that adds 4 more to the score. Yeah, great bit of batting there by Shanzine. A lovely strike, and that'll probably the first bit of noise we've heard from the Bauhinia Stars dugout as they applaud that shot, and welcome boundary, and it brings the required rate below 7s, which is great from a Bauhinia Stars perspective and for any Stars supporters.
And that's also made a change in the field, so they now have put someone out there on the boundary there at square leg.
Oh, Mariko Hill back into attacking the stumps a little bit more, and Shanzine rising on her back foot defence and skies up into the air, but outside just behind square where there is no fielder, and earns herself 1 run as we see one of the Bauhinia Stars, Emma Lai, running some drinks out to Shanzine Shazad, who's hunched over a cricket bat, certainly beginning to feel the effects of the heat out there. And this drink's been taken by all on the field. Looks like we see a bowling change in the Jade Jets.
Looks like Chanceha coming on.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the drinks break, and I'd like to see the umpires try and take a bit of control over this. Certainly tough out there, but
all fine for us to say sitting here under
yeah,
the cover with our water here.
absolutely. But I'd
But
like
yeah.
to see international conditions try to be replicated as much as possible, and challenge players around the way that they've got to get through in really tough conditions. Obviously a wicket's a perfect opportunity to get a drink, and a stoppage, if there is one, a quick opportunity to get a quick sip of water on and back in fielding position quickly. It's where you want to be relying on your 12th man to be getting some drinks around the boundaries, so when a player is stationed out on the boundary there's a drink next to them.
I didn't make the Duckworth chart.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wasps sitting at 52%, and Duckworth Lewis par score is about on the button, as we see. Looks like Chanceha is going to be coming into bowl, her left arm round off spin, and it's short and down the leg side, and it's pulled, but the slow outfield is going to pull up, and Betty Chan races around the outfield as if she's on a running track. They can only add the 2 runs, and looks like torture for the 2 batters out there as they just wishing that ball would continue on to roll over the rope, but not to
Really
be.
pulled up, didn't it? It came in probably 3 or 4 metres before the boundary line. Didn't look like it was going to go any further. A little bit short there by Chanceha.
Yeah, this partnership moving along to 30 off 29, a really, really good partnership for the Bauhinia Stars as they look to set a bit of a foundation to try and chase down this score of 122, aiming to get the 123 to win the match. Yeah, so they've done a great job of getting themselves back into the game, having had quite a slow start. Really impressive effort by these 2. Down the leg side and short and hit down, but there's no intent to run 2, but they're going to come back. Betty throws the ball, and in the end they come comfortably, and courtesy of the encouragement and pleading from the dugout from the Bauhinia Stars to drive them to run 2 despite the legs feeling heavy and it feeling like an absolute sauna inside their helmet. As we see a change in the field, and Tammy drops back onto the ring. Betty Chan moves deep square leg just behind, and Kinu Gill out in front of square. So that's
Down leg again.
short and down leg, but no contact, and the umpire extends his arms. There'll be 1 more to the score.
Chanceha doesn't look like she's got a rhythm there today. She's throwing the head back. So that's another one down leg. That's a better ball.
This time outside off, and just struck back to the bowler.
So Jade Jets would be looking to get a wicket here soon. This partnership has gone on quite a bit. 33, I'm told by Nitesh. So they have gotten a little bit comfortable. We're looking to get a wicket in the next over or 2.
Awesome.
Oh, it's completely
Wow.
tossed up.
That's
and
been no
gone
balled,
to
so
no ball.
certainly consistent with what we saw in the first innings. That ball almost had ice on it as it came down, and we see another free hit. Now it'll be interesting to see where Mariam looks to go with this, with mid on and mid off up in the ring. No one really at cow corner or deep mid wicket. She goes on the back foot and unfortunately isn't able to score anything off that, and Probably a disappointing result for the free hit. Can't be out-stumped on a free hit, so a perfect opportunity to come running down the wicket and try and launch that down the ground. That's not Marianne, that's just what Kirsten.
No, it's Marianne.
I don't know who it is.
It is, yeah, by the way she hits.
Just trying to recognise, get the camera a little closer. Okay. Just looking at that. Yeah. Now we see a change in the bowling with Katie Gibbons coming in, number 21. She'll be looking to bowl her medium pace, targeting the stumps. There's a little bit of protection out. Just in deep square leg, just set in front of square. Cover sweeper. There's the fielder at deep square leg's been asked to move more into a deep mid-wicket position. Mid on and mid off in the ring. So it's struck down the ground and Katie gets a finger on it and there's no run scored. A few comments there, you're correct, it is very difficult to score boundaries on this outfield, it's quite slow. Great intent from Shenzhen as she comes down the wicket, and speaking of difficult to score boundaries, she crushes one on the ground through extra cover 4. Lovely shot, and that takes her along to 22 off 23 deliveries after what was a slow start by Shenzhen. Marianne Bibby on 15 off 23, and goes to go aerial and covers running around and not able to take it, and there's just one run to the score. And see the run rate required, current run rate is creeping up closer to 6 and over, and the run rate required sitting at 6.5 after getting over 7. So really good effort by this partnership as it's full toss and no run scored. Bit of confusion about who's batting out there, sometimes difficult to tell. We'll have a scorecard with the numbers. Katie Gibbons coming in again. Oh! Hit aerial and fingertip stuff from pull toe and not able to pull it in. Yeah, no, I know. It is. They're having a look, and I think we might have got that very wrong, and it looks like it might be just window. We're just going to try and clarify that for everybody. That's one run to the score. Great bit of running between the wickets there. Short and pulled away, and that'll be one run out to the mid-wicket fielder Keanu Gill that runs in and direct hit with the stumps, but batsman safely home. Partnership 42 off 42. Only the three boundaries, the 3 fours, so there's been a lot of running, a lot of work out there. It's full and no run and no run. Yeah, so we stand corrected, folks. Our apologies, our team sheets in front of us don't have the numbers, but it's actually Jaswinder that is batting out there. That's number 14, batting with Shanzine. And Marianne is still in the hutch, so the hitting power of Marianne is still in the hutch. And apologise for that.
So whilst going over there and checking, the ladies over there said, of course Mariam doesn't bat like that, that's of course Jaswinder.
As Shanzine comes down the wicket, not able to make big contact and no runs scored, and the Bauhinia Stars are 58 for 1 after 10.4. Ticking along really nicely.
Much better.
What does Wasp say? 69%.
So that's skied in the air but wide of mid-off, and they just jog through for 1 run, and this batting partnership is doing an absolutely phenomenal job, and Jade Jets will be sitting there waiting for that chance to snaffle a catch and change their fortunes and change the momentum in this game. And looking at the way that Shanzine and Jaswinder are getting on out there, that heat's certainly not easy to play in, but they're doing a great job for their side as they edge their way towards the total, and 9 overs left in the innings.
Finally updated.
See, our scorecard on the stream has changed, and we've got the correct batters in place and the correct names. Our apologies to Jaswinder and Marianne. I'm sure Marianne would have been more than happy with the accolades for the great batting that we're seeing out there.
That's Mariam.
If you heard that cry from the Bauhinia Stars dugout, that was Marianne. Great lungs on her.
It's a good ball there by Katie. I think that's what we need to see a bit more of from the Jade Jets, is pitching it right up, making the batsmen work hard instead of these short balls.
Swinging in, and Jaswinder had a swipe at that, not able to make a strong contact, and just plays it into her pad, and there's no run. Had she made contact, there's only just the square leg, Betty Chan inside the ring, and a great option for trying to score a boundary there. See Katie Gibbons coming in again, and what is her second over? Full and French cut, and Shanzine runs through, and it's another run to the score. 2 deliveries left in the over. Great contest we're seeing here. Really good contest. Earlier in the day we saw a fantastic partnership between Mariko Hill and Keanu Gill. Great innings by Mariko. She scored 56 runs. So that ball's just popped up into the covers, but not near the hands at pull toe.
Good bowling here by Katie.
Down leg side, and the umpire's going to spread his wings, give him a flap, and that's 1 wide.
Katie took on the role last night as the joint master of ceremonies for the HKCC end of season awards evening. And then today out here was was going to say bowling well, but the last two balls haven't quite been what she would have hoped for.
Yeah, a couple of freebies there. Short and
Free hit and it's
over square
dispatched.
leg, and we're going to be able to pull it in. Not so, and that's 4 more to the score. Great shot by Shenzhen, capitalising on the short delivery, and like we saw in the first innings, anything that's short is something that provides a really, really good run scoring opportunity. And a phenomenal partnership. That brings up the 50-run partnership. A superb effort by these two. 52 runs off 53 balls, with Shenzhen scoring 23 of those and Jaswinder 19. Fantastic effort. Saw a 50-run partnership in the first innings, and we're seeing another one here, and it's 67 for 1 after 12 overs, 8 overs to go. The situation is 56 runs to win off 48 balls.
And the Jade Jets have brought on their, I guess their tightest bowler in Betty Chan, so they're looking to really slow these runs down, bringing Betty on. Hopefully we'll get a wicket out of Betty, but at the minimum really to slow down the run chase.
Yeah, Betty's got 2 more overs in the bank, so it looks like they're using them early to try and shut things down a little bit as the required rate gets up to 7 on the dot, and current run rate 5.6. So as it comes down the wicket, hits straight, but a good catch by Mariko running in, and that brings the end to a fantastic innings by Jaswinder as she departs for 19 off her 32 deliveries, and we're going to see the Bauhinia Stars skipper Carrie Chan make her way to the crease. And like we spoke about earlier and have spoken about the last few days and yesterday at this ground, it's not always easy to start your innings on this ground and in this pitch, but you give yourself a little bit of time, get yourself in, then you really present yourself hopefully with an opportunity to score runs, build a partnership, and in the Bauhinia Stars case, chase down this total with the aim of scoring 123 runs to win.
Shenzhen's been on the field under the helmet for the entire game so far.
Shenzhen been on the field for the entire game, all 32.1 overs that's been played today. She's under the helmet wicket keeping in the first innings of the match and opened the batting, and is still out there. 30 off 31 deliveries, and Carrie will be hoping she can stay there, but we're going to have to work together here because the fresh legs of Carrie will be wanting to run between the wickets hard, and Shenzhen, having been out in the field for such a long period of time, will be feeling the effects of the heat, so they're going to have to be wise to that.
I'm sure she's thankful of the fact that the spinners are on and she's taken the helmet off, get a little bit of fresh air into the face, donning the cap for the little Saiwan team.
Shenzhen comes down the wicket, lovely shot to the long on sweeper, and makes the 1 run and brings batting partner Carrie Chan onto strike to face her first delivery.
Carrie coming in also adds that additional challenge of the left batsman, right batsman scenario, so Jade Jets will need to be on their toes, be ready to change the field around a bit.
Yeah, the left-hand, right-hand batsman, that's a great point. It makes it difficult, not only for the bowlers, but the fielders, especially in this heat, where you might be having to, if they're rotating the strike, having to constantly be changing position and moving around.
Very
As
good ball
Carrie's
there.
beaten out on the outside edge there by Betty Chan, who she's played a huge amount of cricket with in the Hong Kong women's squad.
Looked to be a fair amount of chat going on between the bowler and the batsman there.
I'm sure there
Good
will
to
be.
see. Good ball there. Edged away, a little bit sloppy in the field by Tammy.
Yeah, a little bit dicey there from Carrie as she sort of opens her front leg and steps away from the spin and gets sort of an outside edge, who opens the face a little bit just to bail out of a shot that she was looking to strike hard. And is able to rotate the strike and Probably better for the Bauhinia Stars to have Shanzine on strike to the off spin so she can look to hit with the turn. She does just that to beat mid-wicket. Carey pushing hard to see if there's two, but Kuni Gill runs in and picks it up from deep mid-wicket boundary. It's Carey Chan back on strike. Not easy for her to face Betty Chan coming right arm around the wicket, turning the ball away from her on a pitch that is beginning to take quite a lot of turn. Oh, there's an edge and dropped by the keeper. This is a throw to the non-striker's end, and Carey makes it all the way through, and that's
Happening there.
time will tell to see if that's a costly drop. Carey has the potential to devastate a bowling lineup, very capable of striking the ball hard, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things progress as skipper Jasmine Titmus brings herself back on to bowl at the Argyle Street end.
Really good awareness on that last ball by Shaz, basically taking that run there. Continuing to push on and make sure that they're getting the singles that they need to.
Look to see Carey capitalise on anything that's short here, so Jasmine's going to be working hard to keep that ball nice and full. Possibly more of an outside offline, but wait and see. Say that she bowls quite straight, and Carey rotates the strike well as she just opens the face on that and runs it down to the Tammy on the 45, third man. Good way to just get herself into the game, and like we spoke about earlier, Tracy, if you're able to rotate the strike throughout the over and then you pick up a boundary, it turns into a bigger, much more productive over for the side.
Yeah, and I think that's something that the Bauhinia Stars
Shanzine looks to strike it out to the deep mid wicket, but they've got the field set well, and there's a fielder out there, and Tinez throws it in. It's just a single.
So I think they were quite slow in the first few overs, the Bauhinia Stars, but they have actually rotated that strike, that previous partnership between Shanzine and Jasminda was really good at rotating that strike and making sure that they were getting all the singles that were available. And Carey just punching that one out to the leg side, and again, getting those singles.
Yeah, great match awareness from Carey and great ability to rotate the strike on those last couple of balls, which is really pleasing to see. Great way to keep the scoreboard ticking over, and I don't think the Jade Jets will be too phased by that, as the required run rate edges up to 7.5. She strikes it down to Mariko. She has a throw at the stumps and is inches away, and it would have been out, and that would have seen Shanzine depart, but I think sometimes you got to chance your arm as a batting pair to just make sure that you're ticking the runs over, and Carey's going to have to get herself in here and perhaps see off Betty's last over and assess how they can up the scoring rate to chase down these runs. That's striked, and she's only got that up in the air and almost a collision, and sees Carey depart, and she'll be disappointed with that, and it's gonna
Very safe hands there by Mariko.
make things tough for the Bauhinia Stars. They would have been really relying on Carey Chan to be a key person in the run chase there, the ability to accelerate the innings. Not to be, and she's out for 4 off her 5 deliveries. And Now we'll
Marianne
see
is
Marianne
coming
Bibby come to the crease after confusing her with Jazz Winter earlier in the innings, and again Marianne. Jade Jets might have nightmares about an innings where Marianne took the game away from them. A longer format, Women's Premier League. She's going to have a big task on her hands as they look to chase down the remaining runs. Remaining 48 runs required at 7.78 and over. There is still 7 wickets in hand though, so Bauhinia Stars do have wickets in the hutch and
Still plenty of batting to come, right? So
the ability to take a few risks, but striking power of batters in the lineup. There's not too many with the ability to strike the ball hard and straight and around the field, so watch this space as Shaz goes for a big swing, and is she able to come back for 2? They're going for it as Tammy throws the ball in, and everything was just a little bit laboured and in slow motion from everybody on the field. Slow to release the ball and slow to commit to the 2, but no damage done for the Bauhinia Stars, and they complete the 2 runs and take the score through to 77 for 3 after 14 overs. 48 now required off 46 now required off 35 balls.
see now Shanzine is starting to struggle a little bit with the heat out there. Well bowled there by Betty, just outside the off stump.
Just wait for the scorecard to update. There we go. So stand corrected. 46 to win off 36 deliveries. That is the scenario facing the Bauhinia Stars. So Jade Jets will be looking to stop that from happening. As don't run on this field. Seems to be applied, and Marianne looking to be aggressive from ball 1. This Betty's last over, but that deep mid wicket area vacant. She'll be looking to hit that there as she just tucks it round the corner for 1 run, as Shanzine ready for that, backing up well and just jogs through for the single.
Tammy's getting a lot of work out there at the short, fine leg. Seems to be a common shot by the Bauhinia Stars today, is to just whip it around the legs.
It's pulled away, but not enough power in the shot, and it just goes to Tinaz, who's at mid wicket. It's a dot ball, and it's looking to be a good over here for the Jade Jets and Betty Chan. 2 balls remaining, and Betty's going to come round the wicket for those 2 balls, change the angle. And you see field change as Betty asks her skipper, Jasmine Titmus, to head on out to the deep square leg boundary to provide a little bit more protection as we come into the last 2 deliveries of this over. Shanzine comes down the wicket. It gets a little touch from Mariko with a diving effort. She runs round from mid off, and Katie Givens at long on runs round and collects it up, and it's just 1 run to the total. Great intent there from Shanzine, great to see, and ever reliable bowling from Betty Chan. Required rate up to 8.5 here, so Bauhinia Stars are going to have to look for a big over at some point. Perhaps not this one. Betty Chan's last over. Very economical and effective bowler.
It'll be interesting to see which bowler they do actually target to try and get
Oh,
that
it's a
big
lovely late cut, and Marianne running hard. She's got the fresh leg, so she's going to run back to the danger's end for 2 runs and a great great bit of work by those two, and good cricket awareness there from wicketkeeper Lemon Chung and Mariko Hill to make sure she's backing up the non-strikers stumps, knowing that Shenzhen was going to be, her tired legs would be running to that end. And that concludes the 15th over. Bauhinia Stars 81 for 3, requiring 42 of the last 5 overs, 42 off 30 balls. Shenzhen Shazad 37 off 38, and fresh to the crease, Marianne Bibby 3 off her 4 deliveries, and it sees Betty Chan finishing her spell. 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 20, and a good return from Betty. Not as economical as she normally is, but still a reliable spell, and one that she would, Jade Jet's teammates would be grateful for, as we see a bowling change here at the police station on Argyle Street end. Mariko Hill coming into the attack. Fine leg and third man up. Deep square, deep mid wicket, long on back. It's full and outside off, and play and a miss as Captain Jasmine Titmus ruining the heat. Face as red as the sun.
Politely says unbelievably warm.
Hill coming in again. Short, pulled away.
Lovely shot.
Lovely contact straight out of the middle of the bat, behind square, 1 bounce 4. Betty Chan not able to run round and collect that ball, and 4 more and a welcome 4 to the score. The boundary early in the over, this might be the over for the Bauhinia Stars to target for the runs, and
Yeah, I get the feeling that they just need one big over, and then they can continue on with their singles. So maybe this
it's
one
full
will
and
be
straight, and a great comeback delivery by Mariko, and Shenzhen unable to dispatch that anywhere she can pick up some runs. It's a stop ball. Halfway point in this over. So a sweeper out at deep cover, really interesting to see fine leg and third man in the ring. Pace of Mariko Hill. She goes short again, pulled, but this time straight to the long barrel of Tinaz, and a little fumble, but no damage done. It's just the 1 run to the score. Jasmine Titmus had a breakfast of champions from 7-Eleven this morning, I'm reliably informed. Certainly. Oh, there's controversy, there's running, there's
That's a very
people falling and on the ground, and
very
the result is 1 run to the score, and Mariko Hill looking to close out this over on her last ball, and the six off the over thus far. Certainly not enough for the Bauhinia Stars, and the required rate jumps back up to 8.6. A bit short, and late cut, and there's definitely 2 there, as there's no third man back on the boundary, and
Nicely done.
2 runs to the score.
So the scoring on par with the required run rate, but I do feel that they need to have 1 big over just to make it a little bit more comfortable for them. So
Look, I'd like to see them have a big over, even that run rate required up to sort of a run a ball, and certainly have a game on our hands here with four overs left in the innings. Run rate required 8.5. Shenzhen Shazad moves to 44 off 43. phenomenal job for her team. As she's been remarkable stat that she's been in the game all game. She was wicket keeping for 20 overs with the helmet on, opened the batting for the Bauhinia Stars, and after the 16 overs of their batting innings, she's still out there. Phenomenal effort as we see a bowling change. As the skipper goes to one of her experienced campaigners, Kinu Gill, looking for her to be the person to shut down this game, have an economical over and push that required rate up above 10 and over.
Final leg, third man both up. It's a soup on.
They've got this no third man.
No one out of deep mid
Bauhinia,
wicket either.
No. So really expecting Kinu to be pitching it right up.
It's short and pulled away, and that
There we go,
Balroo,
that
no
go
backward
through.
square leg, and that's 4 off the first ball. We speak about it a lot that you want to open and close your overs, so that first ball of your over and last ball, particularly in a close game, you certainly don't want that to go for a boundary, because boundary early in the over sets that up nicely for the batting team to try and really launch that, and as a bowling side you're then on the back foot trying to defend the over. And equally, a boundary off the last ball of the over can ruin what might otherwise be a good over. That 4 has just dropped the run rate required down to 7.8, and if they can continue to capitalise,
Well fielded there.
score runs off this over, this could be it. But good comeback delivery by Kinu, nice and full outside the off, and Marianne unable to beat the short cover.
It's just making a nick on that one before.
Full and swinging and seaming it away, and out of reach of Marianne as
It's well bowled there by Kinu, just a little bit wider so that Miriam had to be reaching for it.
yeah, it's a great tactic. I think going wide outside off when batters are going to be looking to hit to the leg side, where they can get that power, as we see Marianne trying to work that around her pad and cannons into the front pad, and the umpire, there's no hesitation in raising his finger. That is out. It takes the score to 93 for 4. It sees Ruchi Venkatesh come in, who is normally a slow starter with her batting, so she's going to have to be wise to the scenario and looking to score quickly, making sure that that run rate doesn't explode out and get out of control, which certainly, if there's no more runs scored off this over, there's a definite danger that could happen. Great effort by Kinu, great bowling targeting the stumps, and Jade Jets will be feeling confident now as Jasmine Titmus, the skipper, sets out the plan for her team for the remaining 3.2 overs.
So Richie's normally someone who backs up the order a little bit more, normally quite well measured with her innings, so as you say, Mark, she's really going to need to come out firing at this point. And that one wide outside off, she does push forward at it, but not able to connect. So dot ball, a lot of pressure on the dot balls here in these last few overs.
Yeah, there's certainly no time to just get yourself in. You've really got to make sure that at worst you're rotating the strike. So that's just pushed out to cover, and no full toss. You've really got to be looking to strike that hard and capitalise on any opportunity to score. Really disappointing. A low full toss and straight to the fielder. That's got to be crushed. You got to put everything into that, Ruchi. Your team needs you to be scoring boundaries out there, as we see the required rate now. Having got down under close to 8, it's back up to 10s, and This is going to be a really, really critical over for the hopes of the Bauhinia Stars, and on the flip side, this is an opportunity for the Jade Jets to shut down this game. Good over here will send that run rate skyrocketing and almost certainly out of reach of the Bauhinia Stars on what is a slow outfield.
Changing bowler again here, so Katie Gibbons back on into the attack.
It's wide and
Wide.
nice cover drive by Shenzhen out to cover sweeper. Ruchi's going to have to be looking to swing and swing hard here as there's 4 sweepers out, deep square leg or behind square, deep mid wicket and deep long on and a deep cover. Ruchi looks to slash it out to the covers, but it's only going to be 1 run. Productive area for boundaries tends to be the leg side. Expect to see anything straight or short. Batsman looking to lay into it.
Cameramen know that. There's a number of cameramen over there on the leg side just waiting for that ball to come
That's
that
a
way.
great delivery by Katie Gibbons there, coming in and seaming in at the stumps. Fantastic effort, and Shenzhen unable to trouble the scorers. Full and struck down the ground but not able to beat the short cover and pull toe, and that's another dot ball, and that run rate continues to climb, now 11.2. Or 12 I should say, with 2 balls remaining in this over. And another great delivery by Katie Gibbons, full and attacking the stumps, and all that Shenzhen can manage is just the single out to mid-wicket, so things are slipping away very quickly from the Bauhinia Stars after a very good over from Katie Gibbons.
I think Katie's bowled a really good length today. She's pitched it up every ball, right? So that one was a little bit over-pitched.
It's full and not taking a risk with the running between the wickets, and that's a superb over for her side. Katie Gibbons has done a fantastic job there, and the run rate required is climbed yet again. Current run rate just over 5s, and the run rate required 13.5 going into the last 2 overs. So it's now or never for the Bauhinia Stars. They've got wickets in the hut, 6 wickets in fact. So there's no pressure on them to keep their wicket in hand. They've just got to have a crack with Kinu Gill, an experienced bowler, but a little bit of pace on the ball, and I think you need to see these batters step across to the offside and try and hit into that vacant deep mid wicket field. Fine leg up as well, no one in fine leg, so a few opportunities on the leg side if they're able to move across their stumps and use the pace of the ball. She tries but only manages to hit it out to square leg, and they're trying for 2 and slow to turn and go, and that brings the end of Shenzhen Shahzad's wonderful innings, ending on 47 off 48 deliveries, and she's done a phenomenal job for her team. To think that she's been batting out there, or she's been involved in the game for every single over, every single delivery, having wicket kept through the first innings and opening the batting for her side. She's done absolutely everything she can. As we see the Stars player run the drinks out for the Jade Jets, very kind of her. Alison Sue makes her way to the crease, and she's going to have to go from the start. She's going to be facing the second ball of Kinu Gill.
I thought at this point in the innings we may have actually seen Jennifer, who's running the drinks at the moment, I thought we might
Yeah.
see her come out.
Yeah,
You know,
she's a good hitter.
with her softball background. You
Yeah.
know, she's got a very good eye and really does make the most of trying to hit out towards
Yeah.
that deep mid wicket.
Okay.
Or I thought we might also see Amanda Chung. I don't know whether Amanda's
Yeah,
in
okay.
the-
Padded up.
Yeah, she's padded up, but I thought she might have come out at this point in time too. She's had
Left-hand,
some
right-hand.
really nice little innings in the previous matches where she's gone at least to run a ball maybe a little bit higher. So, but we've got Alison Sue who also can hit the ball, and she's come out there.
Oh,
Dropped on the first ball. Great
Sure.
effort there by Chansahar.
not by Chansahar, and 1 run to the score, but they've really got to be dealing in boundaries here, and it'll be interesting to see what Ruchi's going to do. Is she going to be able to move around the crease and try to access different areas of the ground? Is she going to stay there and just play it as it comes? Because I don't see a cover drive being the productive shot required, and there's a bit of a swing, a wide delivery outside off, and a good tactic if that's what's been employed by Kinu, bowling wide outside off, trying to force the batter to hit through the offside on a slow outfield.
Yeah, just a little bit too wide outside off for that one. That's a much better line, but easy single there.
Yeah, ball just seemed to pop a little bit and didn't well to get a single off it, but again, just not really seeing any innovation to try and find a way to score a boundary. You see a lot in Super Smash cricket, the T20 series, domestic competition in New Zealand. You see a lot of players moving across the stumps and looking to try and hit it behind square leg, using any pace that they can create. As Alison, I say that, she plays a lovely off drive over the head of Mariko Hill, but she pulls it in and it's 2 runs to the score. Lovely shot. Nothing wrong with the delivery from Kinu, holding full and outside off. Key here for the Jade Jets is just to make sure they don't bowl a short ball. Interesting change. They send back it off to long off and bring long on into the ring. Lovely ball. No run, able to be scored, and
Oh, and there's a run out.
the backing up of Ruchi is a bit too far, and she's not able to get back into a crease, and she departs for 2 of the 5 deliveries faced, and we see Dorothea Chan making her way to the crease. And yeah, like we said, it's very interesting not to see Jennifer Alumbro. She did a fantastic job bowling left arm round the wicket earlier in the game, taking the prize wicket of Mariko Hill, and not being given the license to employ her
padding up now.
softball skills and come out and try and swing that bat hard. Probably hit the ball into some slightly different areas than what the Jade Jets might be used to, but
A little bit more unorthodox than
perhaps a missed opportunity there. Could have got her up into the order a lot earlier with wickets in hand. Chance their arm with someone with some striking skills. I guess that's looking like it might just be a what if, as the Bauhinia Stars are sitting at 102 for 6. 7 balls left. Skied in the air. Lemon,
yeah.
great effort, great awareness from the wicket keeper to say, that's my ball, I'm going to run, I've got the gloves on. Takes that ball. Love the intent from Alison, but not able to make a powerful contact, and we're going to see Amanda Chung walk out to the crease.
really good coverage of the ground there by Lemon. Made quite a lot of ground to be able to get there. Called it early and then took it comfortably. So nice fielding there. And looks like Jasmine is going to take the responsibility for the last over of the innings. The Bauhinia Stars needing 21 from this last over. Might just be a little bit outside of their reach.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit too far, and I think it's going to be a game of what ifs for the Bauhinia Stars, looking back at a few unforced errors in their bowling and fielding display. Certainly could have restricted and reduced the runs scored by the Jade Jets, particularly after they took the valuable wicket at Marico Hill. As we see Jasmine Titmus coming into the last ball of the innings and the last ball of the game. It'll be her fourth and final over, having gone from 9 runs off her previous 3 overs, so a great return thus far by the skipper.
Yeah, man. Strike. Very low stance by Amanda.
Swing and a miss.
It's good bowling there by Jasmine.
Full and sliced away to third man, and that'll just be the 1 run. Dorothea Chan's going to have an opportunity to swing from the hip.
4 balls remaining, 20 runs needed. I think Jasmine just wants to get out of this with a clean slate. I think she will have bowled quite well actually.
Great intent from Dorothea. Really pleased to see her trying to open up the leg side, and fortunately Amanda not able to get back to the crease in time, and the umpire raises his finger to signal out. And we're going to have the pleasure of seeing Jennifer Alumbro come to the crease. We've spoken about her softball background, and we're going to have a chance to see it now that she's going to be on strike for
3 balls to
the
come.
last 3 balls of the game. We're currently sitting at 32 degrees here in Hong Kong. Feels like 42. Certainly fortunate to be in the shade of the commentary box because it is absolutely balmy out there.
So this win will put the Jade Jets 2-0 up in this series. So it does mean that they will take the series out.
A little chip over cover.
And here we were talking about her softball skills, and she plays a straight bat.
Yeah.
Should also probably make a call out to all the fathers out there today. It's Father's Day.
Yeah, that's right, Tracy.
I know that Jasmine's father does actually watch the replay of this. He has told me that he watches each of the matches. Doesn't watch them live because it is quite early in the day UK time. So big call out there for all the fathers around. I know a number of them will be watching or will watch the replay. So it'll be Father's Day to everyone out there, and hope you're enjoying your day.
This is a little dab by Dorothea as she scurries through the crease. She's going to be coming back anyway.
And that's another run out.
It's another run out. Lemon over the moon to get another shared run out, and the Jade Jets chalk up their second win in the 3-match series, and they've wrapped it up with 1 game to go. The game will still be played next week back here at Kwong Road Recreation Ground to finish off the 3-match series. Fantastic effort by the Jade Jets.
4-1 up overall in Women's Premier League this year.
Absolutely roasting conditions, And I'll bring you up a little bit of a summary of the match. Just bring up the scorecard, give me one moment. Big thank you to Tracy Walker, who's been with me in the commentary today in what has been a very hot and balmy, sweaty session in the commentary box. Reviewing the game, Bauhinia Stars winning the toss, deciding to field first. With the early wicket, great delivery by Alison Sue, taking the valuable wicket of Pull Toe for 1. But they weren't able to stop the next partnership between Mariko Hill and Keanu Gill, which over 50 runs in that partnership, with Keanu Gill contributing 15 and Mariko continuing on and scoring 56 off 47, including 10 fours. Fantastic innings by Mariko. Lemon Chung came and went for a duck, bowled by Jennifer Alumbro in her first game in the Women's Premier League, and Tinaz and Jasmine Titmus combined really well at the end of the innings, to Tinaz scoring 19, Jasmine 13 not out respectively. With 11 wides and 5 no balls, and I think that'll be a stat that the Bauhinia Stars will look back and rue the ill discipline in some of their bowling at times. Jennifer Alumbro probably the pick of the bowlers, purely because of that one wicket she took, the wicket of Mariko Hill, to try and give her the opportunity to Lemon Chung, I should say. I thought she got. Sorry, I apologise. Probably the bowler of the day bowler of the innings goes to Maheen Hyder, who was the one that took Mariko Hill's wicket, bowling 2 overs, no maidens, 1 for 7. Fantastic couple of overs from her, and unlucky not to get 2 more. And that closed the innings. The Jade Jets scoring 122 off their 20 overs, leaving the Bauhinia Stars 123 to win. And after a slow start with Emily 6 off 13, but her opening partner Shanzeen Shazad, who had the helmet on all the way through as the wicketkeeper in the innings, she went straight out to bat as the opening batsman and scored 47 off 48 deliveries with 4 fours, so there was a lot of work running between the wickets. Did a great job for her side, pairing up with Jaswinder Kaur to score 19, who scored 19 off 33, combining in a 50-run partnership. But once that partnership broke, there was not much more resistance. Carrie Chan only 4 off 6, Marianne tried her best and managed 8 off 9, and beyond that they're all single figure scores, and the run rate continued to climb, the side ending on 105 for 9. So be a disappointing end for the Bauhinia Stars, who have lost 2 in a row in this series, and they're looking well placed to chase down that score, but they'll rue some unforced errors and ill discipline in their bowling, particularly in the bowling and fielding innings. Pick of the bowlers, there's probably a couple in the Jade Jets lineup. Keanu Gill 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 15, and skipper Jasmine Titmus 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 12. Great skippers innings. And that'll conclude our coverage here at Mission Road, Kwong Road Recreation Ground, for the match 2 of the Women's Premier League, with the 3rd match to be played next weekend on Sunday. Stay with us as we'll start a new stream for the final of the All-Stars exhibition series, which will be starting around 1:30 p.m. Line up between the Kowloon Lions and the Hong Kong Islanders to